Nope.
Wait, so am I saying
Yeah,
hello
you're
to
you're
everyone in
doing the
chat? Oh,
things,
as
man.
I'm the one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bring us home,
nailing
man. And
it,
let's
nailing it.
Oh
yeah.
God.
I love
You're
This
running
is
this.
it.
going great.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bears Eye Aria G D&D game, but the offshoot game of the Fast in the Furriest, the quest of all of Barca and his young bugbear puppies. What would they be? Cubs?
Cubs.
Yeah.
Cubs.
Maybe.
Except they're all different ages, but to him, they're all cubs. I think that's how most parents feel most of the time. So we're gonna start off with a little recap here, and we're gonna go through what happened the last time on Fast and the Furious. The story started off with Barca telling the story of his past few months to a Minotaur, Akbar. Barca also told Akbar that he plans to call in the favor that he is owed to him after he beat him in a headbutting contest several months prior. We then were brought to the town of Home, Hom, a town that was started after Barca and Tia liberated a group of bugbears, including his mother. Chase introduces Barca to his children. Quickly after being introduced, Barca asks his children to join him in a quest to save Tia. He doesn't know what's keeping Tia from the Bears Iargia crew, but he senses it's a family obligation that goes back to their time on the continent of Arganessen. After his children agreed to come along, Barca and Chase thought it wise to see what Barca's offspring are capable of. So Rocker and Wayfair fought a long battle. Wayfair eventually won the battle and didn't end the fight until Barca intervened. The brothers hugged it out, and it was Dora and Ikea's turn to duke it out. Another good fought battle between the simple-minded and emoed pair of children. Dora wound up the victor of that battle. Then came the final battle. Chase turned into a direwolf and fought her nervously screaming grandson, Kotatsu. Kotatsu? How do we say that?
Kudzu, it's fine.
I did it? All right, cool.
No, you absolutely Kotatsu.
Kotatsu.
Kotatsu. Yeah.
Got it. Kotatsu won the fight, and Chase cast calm emotions during a hug after Kotatsu was very worked up. After the training ended, Akbar appeared and delivered the information that he thinks he found a way to the difficult to reach continent Arganessen through a person called the Acolyte, located in the city called Karnap on the continent of Corvair. This acolyte is a heavily guarded person and is rarely alone during the day. Through some investigative work, the group decided the best way to get this person was by approaching the acolyte in the Thundering Lizard pub. Upon arriving at the pub, Rocker puts on a life-changing performance, gaining the attention of everyone in the pub, including the guards outside the private room where the acolyte was seen to be sitting. Seeing that Rocker was now entertaining the crowd with a distraction, both an invisible Dora and Ikea decided to enter the private room with the acolyte. For a rather creepy discussion and a sleep spell on Dora, the acolyte I didn't write this out correctly. The acolyte made Ikea sign a contract in blood that stating that Dora will find a living creature to marry the acolyte. The acolyte agrees to take them to Arganessen. Ikea does such. While the group discusses what went down in the pub, Ikea starts to notice a black, oozy webbing forming around where she signed the acolyte's contract. The next day, everyone spent a majority of the day asking townsfolk if they would be willing to marry the acolyte. But the townsfolk didn't even want to have anything to do with the discussions involving the acolyte in any way. In fact, just kind of pretended he didn't really even exist, though after some insight work, everybody knows that the acolyte exists. They just don't want to acknowledge it. At midnight, the group traveled to the acolyte's keep, where the acolyte used a pendant on their chest to open up a portal to the group steps or portal to Arganessen. The group steps into the Acolyte's Ball and welcome to Arganessen. You appear. It's currently dark. You're all in the dark. What do you do?
We're all bugbears, so I think we have dark vision. Does that factor?
Yes. I mean, I'll need a help from another on a rule on dark vision. If it's totally dark, do you still is there different levels of pitch black?
So the only time dark vision really gets obscured is from magical darkness, unless you have some special, like warlock things or special class abilities. Usually,
fair enough. Then yes. So as all the bugbear eyes, I forget that. Yeah, been playing Barca how long? Dark vision. As you kind of look around, you can see each other, and you see you're in what feels like wooden slats all around you. There seems to be tiny bits of light peering through the slats, and it's all enclosing. And you guys are actually all kind of close to each other. And where you are standing, it isn't much bigger. But you are able to stand, and there's maybe 10 inches, and so it's kind of what you're looking at.
So giant crate size versus room size?
Giant crate size.
Cool.
I'm gonna look through if there's bits of light. I'm gonna see if I can eyeball through those cracks.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your, we'll say, trying to figure out what this one would be. Peeking through a crack. How good's your vision? Just roll. You know what? Roll your perception. I'll say that. We'll let you roll your perception.
I got a nat 20. 27.
Jesus.
Okay, so as everybody kind of sees, IKEA kind of gets really close to the ground, and IKEA's moving you all out of the way too, because it's the light is coming from the lower part of the thing, so there might be a foot up in your face and an elbow maybe over in Rocker crotch by accident, and but
Dora's trying to look with you.
And it's very much the older sibling hand on face for Dora, and the hand stays there, and it's just
and not even an excuse me, no, just more of get out of my way, just kind of pushing out of the way. And as you do, you see through the crack, and what you do see, you don't see a whole bunch, though you did roll a nat 20. I will say you see this. You see what looks like a long slatted road. And then as you try to peer up from that, it the crack kind of ends. But you do, since you rolled so high on perception, you also hear things happening on the outside, maybe things rolling around near you. You hear what sounds like a whoosh, and it's kind of consistent. That sound.
Is the floor are we stable, or is there any shifting?
You're stable.
Okay. Huh. Anybody know where we are? Because there's just a wooden hallway down there. And that.
Can we move into it?
And yeah, this is getting uncomfy.
Is there a door?
Make a perception check.
Okie dokie.
No, investigation.
I can do that too. I could do that better.
And there are definite walls around us right now, right?
Yeah, and every wall looks exactly the same from floor to sides to top.
It's a 21.
21. As you are looking around, you see everything is well put together. Every wall looks exactly the same. There's no seams except for there's where IKEA saw the light coming from it is almost kind of like a knot in the wood that just didn't match up exactly at the seam. But that's what you see.
Can I punch through that knot to try to widen?
Yes, roll an unarmed attack with disadvantage because winding up in that space
Absolutely.
is not very easy.
18.
As you do that, so you reach back and you punch, and that board moves out a little bit. It hurts your hand pretty good because it was a solid punch, barehanded. But you see that each board is put in with 3 nails, and now you can kind of see a lot more coming out the side. And since you rolled a natural 20, I'm just going to explain what you see.
Awesome.
As you turn over to the side of you, you start to see land and trees. And as you look, you see a railing that has rope tied to it. And right next to you there is a small ship floating in some water. And now you hear more sounds. You hear seagulls. You hear different shouts, different types of sailor shouts you might hear. Broad line, stern, all these kind of things. You hear what you think is probably like barrels rolling along a dock now. And that whoosh sound you can see is timed up with the water hitting the shoreline.
Water?
We're on a dock. So I'm going to just start attempting to bash my way out of there.
Oh, Dora's helping with enthusiasm.
Water.
Tatsu is helping in abject terror at being confined so close to all of these people.
I'm going to say, before all of that is resolved, I would say I take a quick peek out the little hole that she made, and I'm just going to misty step to a nearby spot.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that gave me some wiggles.
It's a little bit easier to breathe. All right.
Yeah, so you do so. And I will say this, the minute you do so, you feel an oppressive heat for some reason. You didn't feel it in the box, but now you feel it out there. A heat that is like what it was in Minnesota 2 weeks ago at the state fair. It was gross.
Right,
and not only hot, but wet. It is humid. It's from where you came from, which was a cold climate.
Right.
This is jarring.
Oh shit! All right. I pull off my heavy coat.
And as you do that, all of a sudden you hear, and all of your siblings roll and tumble out of this crate that was sitting on the dock. Wood and splinters go everywhere. In fact, a board kind of hits you in the side of the head, kind of making you don't take any damage, but you're you kind of just lose sight a little bit because it's your siblings and that's what's going to happen. As you all explode out of the box and get up, you kind of hear voices of these. You all of a sudden see all these different types of creatures. Where you might have thought, oh, I'm going to see sailors that I've seen before, you're seeing creatures that you don't normally see all the time. You're seeing tabaxi, these long, tall kind of cat creatures. You're seeing these different humanoids that have kind of a snake head coming out of it. See a bunch of different things. So as you're taking all of this in, you appear in a tropical city under the blazing sun. The familiar sounds of a harbor, creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingled with voices of shouting and cursing in unfamiliar languages, filled with clicks, inhalations, and sing-songy words that make it sound almost musical. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruit mixes with the wharfside smells of fish, tar, and canvas fill your nostrils. Beyond all that, the city is an interesting explosion of color as you see it from a distance. Different groups of creatures and buildings are all painted in solid shades, and you're seeing these like groups all wearing the same color, not mixing in different colors. And I'm talking, everything here is talking about colors of clothing. You see shades of blue, green, orange, salmon. You see metallic silver. You also see on the buildings all these different types of plants that look unfamiliar to you. Some of them, one of them, we'll see this. Dora, you get really interested in this one, and it's like got this big, huge mouth on it. It almost is the size of a basketball. And this little bird flies by you, and right in front of your face, this thing goes and takes the bird out and swallows, and then opens back up.
I'm still gonna sniff it.
As you do, you hear "feed me." No, I'm just kidding. As you do, it comes close. It actually does kind of like its tongue almost comes out to try to lick your nose as you smell it.
I assume because Jorah was trying to get in the same space, Ikea's still like right there. Ikea's just gonna scruff her and kind of like.
But
try not to get your head bitten off before we even start.
I would like to make a roll to confirm a suspicion that the player is having, and the character may be smart enough to put together.
Let's hold on 1 second. Let me
sorry, go ahead.
Just the rest of the
go ahead.
The
sorry.
description, and then we'll get into it. No worries. Let's see here. Different groups of creatures. Buildings are painting in bright shades of blue, green, orange, and salmon pink, just like the creatures walking around. And their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant dragons, as if they were mythical heroes or gods. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of the more colorful, unfamiliar flora and fauna. Thank you for the thesaurus work. Solid color pennants and sun awnings flutter atop the city walls. A crowd of children dressed in feathered hats and capes race past you, squealing in delighted terror as a street performer costumed as a big-toothed, dead-looking lizard stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing. Yet all the uncanny happiness, there is a sense of danger and anxiety in the air. Bear, go ahead.
So the suspicion that the player has, do the clothing that the people are wearing, the kind of coordinated color scheme that these folks are wearing, do they coordinate with the typical coloration of the various dragon types? And if you want, it would probably be an Arcana check to know for sure.
I'm going to go history.
Okay, I'll do history. I have that too. I rolled a 9, but I have that as well.
I will say this. Nothing is coming to your mind from a historical aspect, but you are connecting. There are parts of you that are connecting the colors of the clothing with the murals on the buildings. Like gotcha. They're all exact same hues of what you're seeing from those murals. So I'd say you have still have the same suspicion.
Okay.
But you can't you're now your suspicion turns into curiosity.
Gotcha.
And one of the things you want to figure out and learn somehow is if that's true.
I will glance over at my siblings as they are detangling themselves from each other.
Was Barca supposed to be going with us on this?
Yeah. Where's Dad?
That grin.
Oh shit! I don't know who he is. Who's that guy?
Daddy Dearest sitting around here.
I forgot.
Did we?
Yeah. Where's Where's Barca?
As
I
you look
sniff.
around, you see your siblings, and you see, hello, my dearies. I don't see your father as well. Chase is there.
Akia's
Barca-
gonna go back and check out that crate, double check that he's not in the crate. Maybe in a
Yes.
corner. He got lost. I don't know.
He got
He
squished.
is not in the crate.
IKEA,
I think
did you
by this
did you-
point,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think by this point, Kotatsu is looking for the nearest tree to go hide behind.
How old is Kotatsu again? I can't remember.
Well, I don't remember how old I made him. I want to say that he was somewhere around like, oh, well, how old is Barca?
Let me grab my character sheet.
We had a
What stage
range
of
that we
life,
could
I
have
guess?
picked.
Yeah, at what stage of life? Like young adult, teenager, like
Probably somewhere around that older teenager, young adult
okay.
area.
I
Yeah,
put
I was the
16
youngest.
for rockers, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I
I
know
think-
you were the youngest.
I think Wayfair is the oldest.
IKEA will know if I notice. I'll also scruff Kotatsu and just kind of hold on to him without any words. It's just kind of a like as she's
So IKEA
checking.
just has Kotatsu like by the scruff and holding him close enough, and on the other side has like a hand in Dora's face, keeping her far away enough.
Yep. Uh-huh. And
This
just
is
Stop
not
getting
like
closer.
fun!
You stop getting further away.
At this
no, just
moment,
utter annoyance, but like it's
at-
not even worth a comment. We're just doing it.
at this moment, you see a big, huge paw come up onto the dock, and another big paw come up to the dock, and then jumps up and poof, shakes, grabs all of you and centers you and says, "Hey, pull it together." And there's your dad, Barca. Oh man, you guys have Barca worried. Where'd you go?
We were locked in a box.
Where did you go?
I woke up in water. It was the worst. I swam up and then I heard you guys arguing and now I'm here.
I feel like perhaps the acolyte was oh, we gotta put this in terms. The acolyte was fucking with us. Would be my suspicion.
Barca suddenly remembers the acolyte and grabs IKEA's hand and looks at it. The web looks to have grown a little bit. You don't feel any pain or anything, but the web has grown. What used to be just like right here is now kind of like almost wrapping your forearm.
Yeah. IKEA kind of wipes it off. You know, like you can't wipe it off, but like just kind
That's
of
like a veiny tattoo.
Yeah, but that's the kind of reaction of
Trying to wipe it off, like
Yeah.
just trying to get it off of you
Like
with
pulling
whatever
it off.
you can.
pulling the arm away and
Yeah, doing that, you let go of one of your siblings,
Ugh.
which would probably be Kotatsu.
Damn it.
Kotatsu continues running to the nearest tree to hide behind it.
As you keep running down the dock, you realize really fast that there are no trees within probably a mile of you. It's all city, all people, all buildings. If you were to try to hide, the only thing you could do was probably hide behind the crates at the end of the dock. The other side of the dock, looking out that direction, is water pretty much to the eye can see. But if you really focus, you could see like the silhouette of a forest on the other side of the water.
Is there much of a gap between the water level and the underside of the dock?
I'd say there's probably like 2 feet.
All right. Kotatsu starts trying to scramble under the dock to hide underneath it.
Dude.
You're impossible to travel with.
Roll.
I'm just saying.
Give me a dexterity saving throw from you, Kotatsu.
Where is
All
the
right.
calm emotions when you need it?
That is a 6.
Yeah, so like as you do so, Chase is able to like wrap you in a hug and cast calm emotions. And you feel this over sense of, like, you still are on edge, but the anxiety to run away has relieved, but you're still like, okay, at least I'm in this loving warm hug from your grandmother that you've felt so many times before. It feels kind of like home, feels like a warm blanket in a time when you need it. So
and you can visually see that kind of tension just drain out of him.
Hard eye roll from IKEA.
Is one of the languages
Hug.
is one of the languages that we're hearing Draconic?
You do hear a lot of Draconic.
Okay, because I speak Draconic, so that's.
Say that out loud. The I want a hug.
I want a hug.
Rocker gives you a hug.
IKEA kind of shoves Dora onto Rocker. Then it's like, yeah, you take her.
She's your problem
looks
now.
At IKEA and just kind of gives one of those nods, like, but she needs to give Dora a hug.
Barca goes, "Are we hugging?" And he walks right up to IKEA. The biggest bear hug in the world, then walks right over to Wayfair and just gives like one arm and one arm on both. It's like, we're hugging.
Aww.
Wayfair, the most teenagery, like arms straight at the side, refusing. Like hugging my son when he absolutely does not want to be hugged.
And you know he's got like a 10-foot reach, so that's a big hug.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Saying.
Yeah. Barca kind of like, okay, everybody, we gotta pull it together. And there are literally creatures watching this all happen. Like we're having a family weird moment. It's like the family that went to Disney World for the first time. And everybody is in disarray. You got kids going in separate directions, and older siblings and parents holding them back from getting into any sort of danger. Here's one of the things. So you said you speak Draconic.
I do.
You are hearing many things, but I will say this: one of the things that you pick up is that yes. Absolutely, the colors that the people are wearing correlate to the dragon colors that you are aware of.
Gotcha.
That you see in the portraits. Right. We'll say that. You hear something that talks of a festival day. You also hear that usually the town is pretty quiet. It's not this populated, but because of this festival day, it is. It's really going on, and what you hear more is like what you're picking up is complaints. It's like, this day always brings in so many people from. This is always so hard. Like, to people be like, I love this day. Let's get trashed. You see a bunch of humanoid frog-looking creatures walking around, being like, I really like the city. And having a really good time being like, I never really get out of the swamp very often, but this is fucking great. So yeah, you're picking up information.
Are any of them saying anything about how it's not easy being part of the green faction?
Actually, they're wearing. They're all different types of color of frogs wearing the color red.
So
They're
it's now
red
There's one
shirted
depressed green
frogs?
frog in the back. We'll say that.
I just that is now headcanon that every frog person in every D&D game is just Permit.
And apparently red shirts. Oh, I feel really bad for the frogs right now.
I will turn to Barca. Father, did you?
You don't really have to turn. He's your armpit. Your face is basically in his armpit.
I turn away from his armpit.
Spit out a couple hairs.
Yeah.
Ooh, intimate.
Father, you said the dragon we're looking for was silver, correct?
Yes. Tia is a pretty silver dragon.
He glances around to see if he spots any people wearing silver.
The colors you currently see, and they're all kind of it's kind of easy to see. It's almost like a patchwork quilt. You see primary colors at the moment.
Okay.
But all these colors match the dragon's murals that you're seeing on the walls.
Okay. In lieu of that, I'm going to look around on the dock for somebody in charge.
Go ahead and roll your perception.
Perception check. Where the fuck is it? There it is. 17.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see that there is a ship next to you, and there is what looks like to be a person standing behind the ship wheel. What looks like kind of what the why can't I think of the council? That's not even the right name, but the area of the ship where it gets driven from, and I can't remember the name.
Helm.
Standing there. Helm, thank you, good lord. Helm, shouting out different things, cussing different people putting stuff onto the ship, cussing them out for doing it wrong. Just kind of up there doing its thing.
Okay.
Tabaxi, a tabaxi female sound is what you kind of hear.
Is there anybody that looks like a harbor master or because my assumption is that anybody who's on or giving orders on a ship probably just belongs to the ship. I'm looking for somebody that may be in charge of this area of the town.
You don't see anything like that.
Okay.
You don't see nothing on the dock, only what's coming off of this said ship.
I will move over. I will duck under Dad's arm.
And it should be noted, when you think harbor, this is a singular 10-foot wide dock in a water source that looks less like an ocean, but more like a giant river or lake.
Okay. The Tabaxi, is she speaking Draconic?
She's speaking common.
Okay. I'll move over to Rocker. I'll duck under Dad's arm and move over to Rocker.
He's let you go at this point.
Okay. I'm not very good with people, and for some reason people seem to like you. We want to go ask that Tabaxi if we are, one, in fact, in Argonessen, and two, where we might find the metallic factions?
Okay, I can do that. You got it, brother. All right. Now I head over to the...
I'm never not going to picture Macho Man Randy Savage doing this character now, just for the record.
That's fair. Just add more body hair, and there you go.
Yeah.
And on hearing that that's what we're looking for, Kotatsu will start using his speak with animals spell ability and try to find seagulls or birds or fish or anything that might be able to lead them to the people wearing bright shiny silver.
Cool. Let's do Brian. Let's do Rocker first, and then we'll head over to Kotatsu. So, Rocker, it's pretty easy to find your way onto the ship. It's not a very big one. It's maybe 30 feet long. so it's not like the biggest ship in the world. But it's also not bringing a ton of stuff. It's more like 5-6 kegs and things like that. But it is a small sailing vessel with a crew of like 4 people on it. And you approach. You hear the captain, tighten the boom bang and secure those barrels, and doing different things out on the deck.
Move the thing.
Hi there. Or no, wait, that's sailor talk. Ahoy there.
Hey, what are you doing on this ship?
Oh, actually, I had a question for you there, friend. I was looking for my family and I were looking for some metals. No, wait, metallics. Metallica, something like that. Anyway, we're looking for a dragon person with a metal sheen, shiny silver-ish, I guess. You know where we can find that around here?
Roll your charisma with disadvantage.
That's valid.
Mhm.
I'm just hearing like the failure music.
Now, would this be persuasion at all, or just charisma?
I don't think your intent was to persuade. I think your intent was to be charismatic.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's a 12 on one and a 7 on the other. So 7 plus 4 is 11.
It's not the worst.
The dragons are up there. That's their festival. I have to deal with so much shit today. Get off my ship.
Hey, man. Didn't mean to piss you off. Just,
I am
learning the lay of the land, even though we're...
Man, get off my ship before I have you taken off.
And I'm just going to put my finger into his chest and go, "You're lucky I'm here with my family." And I turn around and walk off the ship.
And then she just returns back to shouting orders.
I think Wayfair has kind of retreated to stand next to IKEA as he feels a vague, like, we're not the same, but we're kind of coming at this from the same outlook.
Real quick, I want to resolve
yes.
Kotatsu. So a seagull. There's plenty of seagulls around. There's squawks as you cast turn to mine. Then go ahead and ask your question. There's a seagull kind of perched right on the ship, about 10 feet away from you.
Oh, hello there.
Hi.
Have you noticed any of the people in this area wearing bright, shiny silver? Like the color of, he'll find like something like metal, like this.
Oh, yes. Up there, up that way. And end of big area where loud, noisy people are.
Perfect. Thank you. And Kotatsu will like toss him some trail rations, a little bit of food.
Okay. You give him, as you throw it down, about 20 other seagulls from everywhere, and you hear exactly like mine, like all these different like seagulls now are all like talking about this. And as the food is done, all of them look up at you.
Oh, like during that whole scuffle, Kotatsu like completely loses focus on what it is he was originally trying to get from this seagull, and he now has like friends that he's comfortable with and isn't scared around. So he's like pulling out more rations and like handing stuff out and tossing more onto the docks, and he's just having a grand old time with the seagulls now.
Okay, you have about 10 seagull friends right now that are probably going to follow you around for a while, so remember that.
Kotatsu casts Flock of Seagulls.
It doesn't matter what game we play, we end
Oh,
up with a menagerie of creatures.
Goblins and seagulls, you guys. So you
Kotatsu
were
is now
That's our
Kotatsu
next one shot.
Seagull friend.
Goblins and seagulls.
so yeah, you besides gaining 10 friends, kind of gain knowledge that there are different colors of factions all over the different parts of the city, and it sounds like on the opposite side, or toward the direction they pointed was the opposite side of where you are, to find the color that you showed them, which was the silver piece.
Does Kotatsu share this information?
I mean, eventually, when he runs out of food and things to talk about with the seagulls, he'll rejoin the crew, but that'll probably be a while, unless someone comes to get him.
And Rocker will point up and say, supposedly they're that way.
Okay.
So there you go.
So what is
Shall
the
we?
group?
Okay.
I
It's up
guess-
that way?
Okay.
I go that way.
Okay, but as a group, somebody stop the explorer over there, please.
Rocker will run up to catch up to Dora.
See what I did there?
We did,
Yes.
but I believe Schmoopsy has the dad pun license.
It's not like there's one per stream. You shut your hole. Sorry, that came in hot. I apologize.
If we're all heading down the dock, I'm gonna grab Kotatsu. Just with the scruff again.
Yep.
Yeah.
10 seagulls follow directly behind.
Kotatsu's probably like just walking backwards as you're like pulling him by the back of the collars, like still fully engaged in the conversation.
Yeah. Do you
with
have
the
long
seagulls.
hair? Because then it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It's just like grabbing the ponytail or whatever. And
Does
Yeah.
anybody else speak Draconic or Elven?
No.
oh, I have Elvish.
I speak all the languages because I have comprehend languages at will.
You do have
Still
to
gotta
enact
cast
it,
it.
though.
Yeah. And as soon as I started hearing the Draconic, I casted it, so it's 1 hour each.
1 hour. Okay.
I think he's probably defaulting to Elvish. And this is just incidental. As we're walking along, Wayfarer is kind of muttering to himself in Elvish. And it's something...
Do you have to designate what language you want to comprehend?
All languages.
It's all languages.
Cool.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
he's just muttering. Man, that's just a first level spell. Now the ability to speak it, that's much higher level.
Right.
But he's muttering to himself in Elvish, and it's just sort of incidentally is like, this is possibly the weirdest day I've ever had in my entire life, and I grew up amongst a bunch of death cultist elf wizards.
Right as you say that, down the path that goes, that's been traveling along the shoreline in the town, which is kind of a road, you see a giant lizard-looking creature with 3 horns coming off of its head in a giant shell. It's roughly the size of a covered wagon. This is the first time any of you have ever seen the Triceratops. And this Triceratops is pulling a wagon with barrels in it. It stops at the end. The barrels that were coming off the small ship are going on there, and now that Triceratops turns and travels up north on the street in the direction that what comes off the dock is another road that is surrounded by the buildings, and the buildings go this way, so it's kind of like road right off the dock with buildings and the portraits of dragons and stuff and people.
Is the Triceratops being like directed by anybody, or is it just kind of doing this on its own?
There's a small there's there's a small frog creature driving or riding or whatever you would think is whatever's happening in the moment on top of the straddling. Well, not even straddling, kind of standing actually, because this creature is huge, but on a chair, on like a little chair type saddle with a bite that comes down kind of right in the Triceratops mouth.
How big is the wagon?
The wagon, about normal size of like what you would think of an old Western covered wagon type thing. 2 giant wood wheels with 2 huge poles that kind of come up and get tied and secured to the Triceratops.
I think Wayfarer is just going to kind of fall in step behind, because this is heading in the direction we're going anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and you notice like actually it's kind of like when an ambulance comes through and then everything parts, like everybody's parting and there is like a lot of space and it's actually easier to get around almost because there's that many different people running around in the town right now.
Yeah, who's gonna tell a fucking Triceratops to move? Yeah, I'm gonna fall in step behind the Triceratops wagon.
Don't follow too quickly behind it though, brother, because I'm just saying it's a big.
Kotatsu's going to go up to the front and start talking to the Triceratops. Oh, hello. Excuse me. My family and I are going the same direction as you are. Would it be a terrible imposition if we asked you for a ride in your wagon?
The Triceratops an animal?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Dinosaurs.
I just want to make sure. I don't know. That's,
No, it's a perfectly valid question. It's also a question that both Brian and I have asked at some point in the last 20 years. So.
Oh, good.
So you're not
asked me that question.
you're certainly not alone in that.
Yep.
Kind of get a really low. Yes. What was the question?
Oh, well, my family and I here are heading the same direction that you're going. Would it be okay if we got a ride in your wagon? We can give you something in return if you'd like.
Ralph has no control over who rides in wagon. Must ask small grown friend.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, thank you. And then Kotatsu will go back, rejoin the others. So, the Triceratops doesn't get to choose who rides along, but we can ask the froggy guy up on top there. He might let us ride.
There are 8 bugbears for a 2-wheel wagon.
And the Triceratops himself, yeah.
I want to
As
ride
you guys
on the
are walking
Triceratops.
down,
You're not riding on the
Dibs,
Triceratops.
dibs,
No!
dibs.
Oh my Kotatsu!
All right. Go ahead.
Wait, what happened there? Sorry, I was looking up a piece of information.
I don't know that we know either.
Doro said that she wanted to try to ride the Triceratops. IKEA got very annoyed, said no, and then was annoyed at Kotatsu for bringing up the idea in the first place.
Got it.
And then Kotatsu got scared again.
So no one did anything?
No one did anything.
Not yet.
I was gonna make a break for it and try to hop on top of the.
If you okay, we'll ride this out. Go ahead and make a we'll say dexterity saving throw for Dora and a grapple for IKEA.
Athletics.
Athletics.
In our while they resolve this in our private chat, Darren was like, I think I can get this done in 2 games. Me in my head.
Oh, no.
Right.
The first session was so easy.
Okay. This
Yeah,
is
no,
going
this-
poorly.
This will
Yeah.
probably take a couple. Yeah.
Yeah. Darren,
The
welcome
very
to Chaotic
first time you
Characters.
say the words, "What do you do?" is when everything goes off the rails.
Fair enough.
Make the plan, execute the plan, enact the plan, everything goes off the rails, and you're fucked.
What did you all roll?
I got a 10.
I got 5.
Yeah, she surprisingly again is able to grab the kind of the scruff and pull you back. I will say this, Wayfair, since you're the one who is like these kids. You notice when Dora tries to make a move that you are absolutely surrounded by the frog-like creatures. And they all kind of almost made a move towards Dora when she tried to make a move for the Triceratops.
How many frog creatures are there?
Currently around you, roll your perception.
16.
A lot, probably like 20 to 30.
In Goblinoid, Wayfair, I don't think we should make any aggressive moves, as the frog folk around us seem to be a little
Jumpy.
aggressive.
And you notice as you all kind of turn your heads and look over that all these frogs are walking straight forward but looking directly at all of you.
Hey, Rocker, do you remember that concert you put on back at the tavern?
Yeah, I was bitching.
How about a little bit of a street performance to win these folk over? Walk and play, friend. Walk and play.
Sure. I pull out my guitar.
Right when you pull out your guitar, you get 2 spears pointed directly at your neck, and all of the grungs grab spears. The Triceratops stops, and you are completely surrounded by about 30 to 40 grungs. And this is what I was looking up, so I got to figure out what freaking language they speak because I can't remember. Forgot to write that part down. Language. It's a language that only Dora can understand. And you basically hear I gotta put you guys there. You basically like, don't move. We will spear the shit out of you.
Here.
You have a remarkably good
That's
Kermit. Like, I'm
rude.
That is
really impressed.
Right?
Very good, Kermit. Yes.
That is.
Gonna distract
Wow.
the shit out of you guys for a while now.
I love this.
I have conflicting emotions right now. Like, fuck you, Kermit. Oh,
This is up there with the fan-made video of Kermit singing "Hurt."
yeah.
Mm.
With all the spears pointed at you, the grung from up top looks down directly at you, at the crew, and you all hear like a kind of that ribbit kind of sound. But Dora, she hears a feminine voice more, and more of a, put them all in the cart, please.
Oh, we're getting loaded in the cart.
And these spears kind of are pushing you towards the cart. Not touching you, but kind of like sheepdogging you into the cart.
Yeah. In
Oh,
giant.
hey, they're giving us the ride after all. Statue hops into the back of the cart.
You hear Barca kind of growl. but Barca also, and Chase grabs Barca's arm. Honey, it's too many.
Hey.
Kids, let's get in the cart. And Shays jumps up, gets in the cart. Barca follows.
I'll slowly put my guitar back on my back, put my hands out.
The spears are still there, but they go from this position down to this position.
Ikea will toss Dora to Chase.
I'm just backing away slowly like a kicked puppy.
Kotatsu doesn't entirely realize that this is ostensibly a bad thing. He's super excited that, he got everybody the ride, and so he's like talking with the Triceratops up front, like, hey, how's life pulling a wagon? What's it like around here?
Oh, Ralph, we got it right after all.
It's like a total flip-flop. Now Dora's like super depressed and down, and Kotatsu's
Shays catches this as you are getting up, and as she helps you up, she gives you a hug and calm emotions, and you feel that same warm hug, warm blanket, warm thing that you feel from your grandmother. And the rest of you get in the cart.
Yes.
It's a tight fit. Some of you are sitting on barrels, and some of you, Wayfair probably more than anybody, is recognizing that we're probably over capacity on this cart. But it is working fine. You find yourselves going through the city. As you all, it's not a covered cart, so it's easy to see. Again, you're seeing minotaurs. You see a faction of bugbears even, which might even ask you some other questions, because bugbears aren't always in society as much as they are in slavery when it comes to where you're from, which you all know obviously very well because you were rescued from those situations. But you're seeing bugbears a part of civilization. The only other real bugbear you saw out and about living without being in that situation was your father, Barca, who also broke out of that. So it's a very weird sight to see, but they have their own section in this green area. They're all wearing green clothes and different things, and there's a giant, huge green dragon in this area that they are in one of these buildings, and there's a big pub that's painted in green with loud raucous music. Sounds like even some fighting and things happening going on, but fighting that isn't necessarily fighting, but like sport fighting, kind of that kind of type situation. So it's kind of like what you all remember from the gladiator rings, but different, like on their own terms kind of situation. But you're being taken to a different direction. You do see out of the corner of your eye, and I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dora, roll me a d5. Just kidding. Roll me a d6.
Okay.
And just to verify, did you say the bugbears were wearing green?
Yes.
Okay.
4.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Rocker, you recognize a group of people wearing silver in a silver dragon deep. You just catch a glimpse of it as you turn off this main road that was all the way down the end. You knew it was a ways. It's not like miles away, but long enough away where you could just barely see the portrait and start seeing some folks wearing all this silver.
I'll kind of slap Wayfarer on the shoulder. Kind of point.
As you point, the moment has passed. Is that quick?
I point in that direction anyway.
I look. I don't. What are you pointing at?
There was some shiny, silvery thing, metal, Metallica. That way.
Is that a band or something? Anyway. He kind of takes note of where he's pointing and just kind of files it away for later.
You all travel for probably another, we'll say, half hour. Remember, it's really busy. Everywhere you're going, you see this long trail of grungs. P.S. You're down to 4 seagulls, 6 of them scattered when the grungs started getting aggressive, but 4 of them, actually 2, one on each shoulder currently, are on your shoulders. You got one that's kind of roosting at the top of your head and like kind of like almost making a nest to a certain extent. But you seem not to care. I'm imagining.
No. That's
And
totally
the other
fine.
one you have in your arms and you're petting like Dr. Evil's cat. And you're happy. You're riding a triceratops with like
yeah.
these seagulls. Like, this is the best day. It turned out so bad in the front end, and now it's just it's your day.
This
Best
is just
day you
Kotatsu's
ever-
happy place now.
Right? He's like, I never thought I could be a city kid. Kind of situation. And so eventually you come to this giant kind of, I would call it like a circular courtyard where in the center of like, you have this kind of ends and then the road kind of wraps around this center fountain. And at the center of this fountain is like, it's all black, but right at the top is like this dragon kind of perched in what I would imagine is like a dragon's like, blue steel pose. Just kind of for what like this kind of it almost seems like it's supposed to be like what you would see like back in the Greek days when you see a statue, but this literally looks like a little bit of this is vain. Like it's a vain thing that's happening with this sculpture, and the sculpture itself turns into red rocks off of this giant black pool that has water, regular water in it. Coming up at the top, you see the head in this pose and 2 golden eyes at the top of it. As you come around, there is a long staircase of tiny, tiny steps. For you, these steps, I would imagine it would be similar to like, kind of like being in Hobbiton for Gandalf. Like everything is just shorter, like the ceilings are shorter, the steps have less tread and have less depth. So as you're walking up them, you're walking up like you're using the front parts of your feet, and you're going up about 6 at a time as these grungs are all just like kind of next to you. As you kind of come up in this building, and all these grungs are still same amount of grungs, there are now more of these grungs. I'm saying grungs now because I'm assuming maybe Kotatsu shared with you that the Triceratops called them grungs. And I just kind of let that go out. So if anybody knows what a grung is, it's actual D&D creature. Anyway, as you get to the top, you go into this this building, and now you like as you walk in, now it feels like you're in like almost like a royalty space. And at the top of like as you come in, there's all this seated area, and then at this like very long kind of raised platform that steps lead up, there is a giant, well, not to you, but a giant to a grung kind of chair, ornate, with like different like lily pad out traces on the very top. And on the ground around you is actually a small, shallow pool where a lot of seats are as well. In the chair is this very heavier looking grung. Definitely a grung who's lived an easy life. With a huge ornate like headdress on, and on the very front of the headdress is that same dragon's face, except instead of it being a vain pose, it's more of like a ha kind of pose. And the figure kind of looks down at all of you and, what are you all doing in Argonesson?
Was that in common?
Yes.
Okay. Oh shit.
And
With
Rocker kind of looks back to all of you like, you want him to go again?
I'm gonna give it a shot. With respect, who's asking?
You don't know who I am.
As you have observed, we're fairly new to Argonesson. So no.
Hmm. No one's new to Argonesson. I am King Chobani.
Well, then to answer your question, as you kindly answered mine, we're looking for a friend.
What friend are you looking for? And
Mm,
I think, you know what? You are in my house. So we're going to do this way. You seem to be asking me a lot of questions when I asked you a question. I gave you an answer. So now give me an answer. Who are you and where are you from?
Well, my name is Wayfair Shivero Blounger. I'm originally from... I'm not exactly sure where I'm originally from, but I was raised on Erennial by elves. Taught in the wizarding arts.
Mm-hmm. And what are you doing here?
I told you.
Wait, you told me that. Sorry.
Yeah.
How? What? I have a hard time. We don't get like different bugbears. I just would assume that you're from, the area over where the bugbears are.
I didn't know
You're
that we had...
usually from the vast.
It seems we were shipped here by an asshole by the name of the Acolyte.
He kind of sits back. I am not aware of an. Did you say an acolyte?
It seems more of like a name than like an actual position. So, the Acolyte, capital T, capital A.
Retcon for people who are doing notes. Not the vast, the acid green.
Gotcha.
Bugbears are from the acid green. What friend are you looking for? You said you were looking for a friend?
We are. We're looking for a friend. They are a dragon of the, I believe, Silver Persuasion. They answer to the name. He looks over his shoulder at Barca just to confirm. Argentia?
You're looking for silver dragons, but you do not wear silver. See, well, here in Argonesson, when creatures aren't wearing the correct clothing for their faction.
What can I say? We're trendsetters.
I do not know what a trend is, but here everybody goes where they're supposed to. Argonesson is not a place of play. And some people like you coming in, playing with my Triceratops, and apparently speaking with it, well, see, we have issues with strangers in our land. Because strangers usually bring dangers.
Sure.
Kermit can totally rhyme. It's all fine.
I feel like there's a song there.
Well,
it's animated and they
Yeah.
share
Let
it
me
with
sing
their.
you a song about it, and he pulls out a banjo.
Banjo.
No,
and you see Rocker's eyes just kind of go up as he starts putting lyrics together.
He starts a band called Stranger Danger. Anyway, So,
Excellent.
anyway, how do I know you're not here to cause? Can't say that to strangers. How do I not hear you're here to cause damage or create problems?
I can unequivocally say that our intention is to do neither of those things. As far as how you can know, I've been very forthright with you. A person in your position must be able to be fairly good at reading people. You must know that I'm being truthful.
Hmm.
We're not here to cause trouble. We're simply here
Roll
looking
your
for a friend.
persuasion. Roll your persuasion.
This is not what I'm good at, though.
You're the one talking.
I know. -1.
Amazing.
How about this? I will give you the information you seek, but you need to prove something to me. See, here, things aren't always settled with words. Things are settled in different ways by challenge.
Dance off.
I don't think that's what he means.
Be pretty cool, though.
Fight?
This evening, we have a festival, and we usually do some sort of, we call it challenge. Basically, if you were to survive a match with me in the ring, I will give you the information you seek, or at least the path to be able to find it. But I will not give you that unless you survive the challenge, because I don't know you. I don't know what you're here to start. But the challenge is the challenge.
Just to
It's up
clarify,
to you.
me specifically, one of us or all of us?
Starts pointing, points at you, points at Dora, points at Katatsu, points at Rocker, skips over Barca, skips over Chase, and points at Kia. All of you seem a little more my size, but you're all much larger than me. Sure, you have a shot.
What happens if we don't win?
I think we die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
To be honest, people have been known to not make it through the challenge. If you are to survive, you would be taken off Arganessen in whichever way we need. But usually those people don't survive either. To be fair, people traveling across Arganessen don't survive. So really, it's up to you how you want to go. But here, the challenge, at least you'll go in the right direction.
So all the information is on the table. If we refuse your challenge, what?
You'll be taken off Arganessen. And I'm not the one who would do it. Points at the dragon on his helmet.
I will glance
You get a
over
free dragon ride?
at my siblings. I don't
think that's
how
what he
that works.
means.
I think this is our best way forward. But I don't want to speak for everybody.
Doesn't sound like we have much choice.
I think this is our only way forward unless we want to meet a real unpleasant end with the business end of a dragon.
What happens if we kill you?
Well, we
in
can't.
the fight?
He has the information we need.
Oh, right.
If
Never
you
mind.
happen to kill me, I have ways of coming back. But if I don't come back, he points over and there's this person writing everything down. my associate will be able to help you.
It's weirdly more reasonable
So?
about death than I thought. I I think I think you leave us little choice. I think we shall accept your challenge.
Ah, but you're given a choice. And not everybody here in Argonessen is going to give you that.
I
It's a free
suppose
lesson.
that is reasonable. We accept your challenge, Your Majesty.
Huzzah! Well, now that we're done with business, claps twice, and everybody kind of parts, and all of a sudden, tables and chairs come in. Musicians come in from the side. You hear these strange sounds. I would say at this point, if you haven't cast it again, you would have to cast it again for comprehend languages, Dora.
Yes.
Yes. So you hear hustle and bustle. You hear fun, happy things about the festival that is happening during the day. All of a sudden, you start to see little tiny cups of alcohol come in. And then one large table comes in and is sat in the water, right? Kind of like, and they bring in two because they realize that there's quite a few of you, and everybody sits around the table, or there's the large chairs, and at the middle of the on one side, this other big chair kind of rolls in with steps up to it, and the frog gets down. He kind of hops down, and then he kind of comes down the steps all the way down. He comes, and then he goes and he sits, and he's at the chair, and he just says, "Come, friends, before the challenge. Let's feast. It is a festival day. Don't always like it to be so bad. It's not always easy when you're living the life of a grown. So please come and join me."
As soon as that hustle and bustle will start, Ikea's gonna grab Katatsu to make sure he doesn't bolt.
I just go.
And
I just go
you know,
sit down.
Barca joins as well, by the way. He seems like this is an honorable thing. It feels honorable. Go ahead, Kotatsu.
Kotatsu has not been taking in like any of this conversation. He has been thoroughly talking with the seagulls and the triceratops. So like as you start to pull him away, he like turns to the rest of the group. He's like, hey, does anybody have any rations? I'm out and the seagulls are still hungry.
We're gonna have dinner. Great. Excellent. Go sit down, bring your birds. It's gonna be great. Also, there's a challenge to the death afterwards, so stick around for dessert, Katatsu.
Oh. Okay. And he just kind of like turns and goes over to the table and gets some food, starts feeding the seagulls.
Akil go to
Perfect.
and eat.
And you and the food that is coming in, there's like bowls of like freeze dried like cinnamon covered flies. There is different types of vegetation on the table. You see different types of fruits that are chopped up very tiny for you. Like I feel like one of you could grab a bowl and think it's like a fruit salad for yourself.
So when
Go
they
ahead.
set down a tray of like the fruits, I just grab it as my plate and then set it down in front of me.
And they come right back out and set more. I mean, like it's almost like the servants are just like, this is the day that we do this. Everything comes out. No one stops doing. They bring you all tiny glasses. There are like these different types of giant roundish looking jugs of wine. When you look down actually in the water now, you can kind of feel like under your feet, like there's like a soft leafy form underneath you, and you realize like the table is like literally on this giant leaf looking rug that's kind of just under the water a little bit. There are all these little white flowers actually now that you see adorning the entire area with these different vines that are coming down. Everybody seems to be in jolly spirits despite the fact that they just brought you in like with a bunch of grungs and challenged you to the death. But this is what they're doing. And like I said, your father seems like this is honorable. Like this is like he's giving us food. He gave us a challenge accepted, and he looks oddly confident in his children. He doesn't look like he needs to be protective. He's like, I've seen what they can do. Orca trusts children. And he kind of has this like look throughout all dinner and kind of like, oh, you're fucked, Frog King. Like just like okay, man, like feed us up, whatever. But this is like you also made a choice, big guy. So
That trademark Barca swagger.
it's definitely not coming off charismatic. uh,
It's okay.
anyway,
Neither did I.
he continues conversations with, as he's going, because he's very, now you're noticing, very curious. And he kind of looks at, so, you there, what was your name? You like guitar, or what is that? What is that? Like like what? Like you're a musician of some sort, or?
I can play the axe, yep. And I take the guitar. Here's my axe.
You kind of saw in that moment, like the guards take half a step forward, but like the hand comes up, like not a real axe. Ooh, that's great. May I take a look at it?
Okay.
He grabs it and he starts interesting, and then he starts like he goes up to the tuners and starts tuning it, but he tunes it like down and to different things. That's pretty cool. And he just kind of is like, why are there so many? Yeah, it seems this is pretty great. And then he starts playing. And then people start joining in and clapping along and singing along with what's going on. They're not singing like the Rainbow Tune, Rainbow Connection, but they are singing in the Grung language. And he's actually playing your instrument. It sounds different because of the tuning, but it sounds like your instrument. And the song kind of ends, and it's like a 30-second song. It almost sounds like a commercial song, really. But that's what it was, and people sang, and then they clapped. Your turn.
I tune it back to where I had it at. This is a little ditty I picked up in Ander. They tend to be very lively. And my goal is aiming for something very like Spanish guitar-esque, very
Roll performance for me.
very melodic. I got a 22.
Nice.
Yeah, you rip just this amazing song, and to the point where instead of it turning from just like a straight flamenco riff, it turns into something of a song with the backbeat, almost like classical gas, like just this, which almost up does exactly what the Frog King did, but took the themes and elements of what he did and took it into a rocker way. And almost kind of, not that you were one-upping him, but you did. But you did it with like this rock and style. And after you get done, you take a look back at the king, kind of knowing what you did, because every musician knows, like, oh, I'll play you a tune and show you what's really up. Take my guitar, or take my lute. No, it's not how that works. And he kind of was like, oh, that was well done. You know what? Snaps 3 times, and out comes another stringed instrument. Would you care to play one together?
All right.
All right. I want you to roll your performance one more time.
For the record, I think even Wayfair was impressed with Rocker's musicality in that moment. And he's not impressed by
Right.
much.
So I am now headcanoning two separate yet similarly tied themed things. The first was that first song that the Grung played was the Rainbow Connection, but it was talking about all the different colored factions and how they make this rainbow.
Why are
The
there
second
so
thing I'm
many
headcanoning now is that the
colors of
Grung and
dragons?
Rocker are basically Kermit and Fozzie doing the moving right along as we're going on this trip.
Amazing.
Oh God.
And that actually is what's kind of happening. It really is. It's like the rate, because like Rocker's the one holding everything down. Like you can definitely tell, like he's bringing someone along with him who isn't having like the talent stretch that your brother does. But they are making a kind of great music, but great music in a way that you haven't heard before, because you're hearing the grung style of music mixed in with the music that you're used to hearing from your brother. But it's creating something like, that you might not always hear. The mix of blues and rock to create soul or something along those things. It not necessarily always goes well together, but when it does, it's wonderful. Having some salty and sweet at the same time.
I love me
As
a good blues rocks fusion. Blues rock fusion. That's fucking awesome.
And as everything wraps up, the whole place is up and cheering for both the king and now for Rocker as well. Everybody's having a wonderful time. Everybody comes back, and the food commences. He's like, "Wow, you are very talented." And you over there with the, excuse me, is that a seagull here? Is that your pet?
Oh, not a pet, just a friend that I made after we kind of suddenly showed up here.
Hmm.
Oh, they all
What's
really
your
like
pet?
the food, by the way. Thank you for that.
Hmm. What's your pet's name?
I'm assuming that Kotatsu has asked them all for their names, including the Triceratops, at this point. So he's going to give whatever name the seagull gave.
You did. It was Henry was the name of the Triceratops.
No, the Triceratops was Ralph.
Oh, Ralph. Sorry. Yes. Rewrite that. Writing names as I go. Yeah. You feel free to choose a name for your seagull pet.
Let's see here.
Should
I
say
come up with
Larry
something
Moe
clever.
Curly, but that's just me.
Oh, what were the names of the seagulls from Animaniacs?
The pigeons?
Yeah, the pigeons. I'm sorry, the pigeons from Animaniacs.
They're all like Goodfellow references.
Yeah.
All right, there are 4 seagulls, yes?
Yeah.
All right. Then the names I'm going to go with are Mike, Pando, Kevin, and
God.
Gord.
Mike.
Who, according to Wikipedia, are the 4 current members of Flock of Seagulls.
So Mike. Pando.
Yep, Pando.
Keith.
Kevin.
Keith,
Oh, Kevin.
Yep.
Kevin.
And Gord. Gord.
Lord.
Of course, that's the names of the band members of the Flock of Seagulls. Pando and Gord. I hope they had a side project. Anyway. That's very, and all of a sudden, and we'll say the conversations go on. Is there anything anybody wants to ask the king here while this dinner is going on?
I think Wayfair is just observing.
What's the festival all about?
The festival? Well, once a year. Wait, you don't know are you? You're obviously not from Organism.
Yep. Yeah, we already. Yep. That's why I'm trying to learn.
You know, I'm just confused because, like, you don't know what the festival is, which proves you're not from Arganessen. You're not wearing any faction colors, which proves you're not from Arganessen. You're not wearing the green that all the other bugbears wear. You all are a little more polite than that group. How did you get here?
Well,
Who's this acolyte that you talk of?
Well, he's a dude who brought us here. Oh, and hey, actually, if you got any single ladies out there, we're actually looking to get them hitched. To have a little contract going to try to. We're
His
matchmaking.
eyesight and gaze changes immediately.
Because at any rate, but we don't
Wait
have
a
to worry
minute.
about that.
Wait.
Yep, great guy.
Did you say? And as you said that, he looks at your arm, and his face turns a little bit of a color. If a frog could turn pale,
Oh.
Dark green to light green.
and it just turns lime green.
Yeah.
Are you sick?
Oh,
Are you going to be sick?
seems like you accepted someone else's challenge. I wish you luck, dearie.
You
I
don't
wish you luck.
have any single frog ladies around?
I would not put any of my subjects in the kind of danger that you're speaking of.
What do you mean danger?
Yeah, I would not like to talk about that subject.
Yeah, okay, me either.
All right, so getting back to the festival, what's it all about?
I mean, I would, but
The festival is the one thing we do a year where all the factions come together. All the giant dragon. How much? You even know where you're from. How much do you all know about dragons?
Big, fly and breathe.
I think
I
Wayfair.
used to ride a dragon.
I think
His
Wayfair.
Eyes,
Good.
the king's eyes open up again, like, you know, that's like you rode a dragon? You're not a dragon rider, are you? Well, I mean, Tia.
I mean,
rode
weren't you
with Tia.
dating a dragon?
No, I was never dating a dragon. My friend Gavin gave me some poor advice, and Barca ended up making some bad decisions. But Tia's still Barca's friend. At least Barca thinks so. Anyway, so that is curious. You are all curious. And as he finishes that, a giant gong, boom, boom, goes off. Everything starts to go away. The tables around start to go away. The plates that aren't finished start going away. Everything's starting to move. Well, this has been lovely, and I cannot wait for the challenge. I am sure you all will bring some interesting things. You have roughly 30 minutes, and these guards come in with spears. They're not in like attack, but they're in relaxed mode. I apologize for the guard. This has been a lovely meal, but I still don't know you very well. I know you better. We have shared music. We have shared stories. We've pet seagulls. But I think it's time to get ready. The challenge happens in 30 minutes. Pick whatever time you need to get ready. And it's at this point we're going to take a break.
Sounds good. So we'll be back in very shortly. We are back.
All right, welcome back, y'all. All right, so as we just left off, everybody, the bugbear cublings or the bugbear bastards and Barca and Shays are all being led down a corridor into an area where they will wait to face the challenge. Now, right before they get to the edge of you all come to an area where there's kind of a fork in the road in this kind of, I won't call it a tunnel, it's a hallway, but it's definitely not like it's not like these beautiful pristine cinder block walls. It's more like clay, still nice clay walls, but just it's still not quite what you would call like a kingdom or like a king's hallway, where it would be like marble or alabaster or something. And as you're walking down this hallway and it comes to the fork, they lead Shays and Barca off. And Barca kind of resists. Let me just say something to my kids. Barca want to say. And they kind of all back off like, okay. And that same female grung was like, yes, let him do what he would like. And so Barca comes up. Okay. Barca, believe in you guys. Barca knows whatever challenge is faced. Barca knows kids will be good. Trust in you, or trust in Barca's kids. IKEA believe in IKEA. Kutatsu believe in Kutatsu. Dora believe in Dora. Wayfair believe in Wayfair. Rocker believe in Rocker. Barca proud of kids. Barca would be more proud of kids if they win challenge. Barca now leave kids to do what needs to be done. And he just like before he was into hugs, now he's like, okay, Barca, good. And he kind of just like scruffs the top of all of your heads, like, okay. And he kind of turns around and walks out with Shays. The guards take you down the other corridor, and as you kind of entering this long hallway is lit by torches. You're now coming into what more light is spilling in. More and more light is spilling in, and you come into, like, as you come out of this tunnel, you open up into a big open area, and you see a giant arena filled with grungs in every seat. Now, to some of you, because I don't know how many of you ever ended up as gladiators, I'm not quite sure if any of you did or not, but this is not an unseen image in your brain, because you have either gone out there as a worker to go help clean up the mess, or you've gone out there to go create the mess. Whichever it is, you all know what this scene looks like. But it's different. Where in that world, it was all about money and betting. In this world, it truly is all about honor and respect. It's different. The challenge reads something different. You don't think a king, at this point in time, for whoever it is, you have not felt that this king is trying to trick you at any given moment. The challenge truly feels like a challenge. and in Barca's eyes and in Shaze's eyes, seems honorable. So as you're in here, and not only that, they all are not booing you. They're not throwing stuff at you, as you've seen in the past. They're cheering for you. People they don't even know. They're cheering you for you. They're cheering for the challenge. And then the same female figure that had taken Barca and Shaze shows up with Barca and Shaze on this high vaulted area. The scribe that was in the throne room earlier that King Chobani had referenced is now kind of heading up the whole situation that's happened, this whole event. And as you guys are walking in, you can hear, and now, as we see, the, you know, these echoes are happening, and the challenge has been accepted, and the challengers are entering, as you all come in, and they're all roaring. And now, the person who issued the challenge, King Chobani. And you may all, and as you guys hear that, and you're all in the center of the ring by the time he gets there, you see this giant gate lift. Chuk, 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 comes out, and riding on top of a triceratops is King Chobani. And we'll say, Kotatsu, you recognize a friend.
Hey.
As Ralph is the triceratops that is carrying King Chobani. And so, and the triceratops again doesn't look like it's like not wanting to be a part of this, like it is a mount. It's taking it on as like, this is an honorable thing, and I am honored to be a part of the challenge. So, with that being
just like
said,
giving a huge wave back, like, "Hey, Ralph! Hi!"
By the way, you're down to one seagull. The minute that you got in that open area, the only one left is the one roosting in your hair.
Mm.
Which at this point now has actually built kind of a nice little home for itself.
Yeah, it's on brand.
At this point in time, I'd like everybody to go to roll 20 if you're not already there.
And at this point, Kotatsu is also going to kind of turn to the rest of the group and go, what exactly are we all doing here?
Probably fighting to the death.
Yeah, we're
Ideally, I'd like
Wait.
not to kill the king or the Pike for that matter.
well.
Wait.
He didn't
Wait.
exactly say that. Okay.
All right.
The fight to the death was with us?
Mhm.
Everybody roll for initiative.
As soon as Kotatsu kind of realizes that he's actually part of this fight to the death, I would like to use one of his class abilities to just as an
Okay.
action touch himself and give himself basically an additional bonus to attack rolls and ability checks for the next 10 minutes.
I'll allow it. Because you knew you were going, you would have enough time before the horn sounded off, because the horn hasn't fully gone off to say attack, but everybody roll initiative.
I would have mage armor active as well.
Okay. Would someone like to take keep track of initiative?
We should be able to pop it up on
Yeah, on roll 20.
I don't think we're on the right. The players are on the right map, though.
Oh, that's why. What do you
Yeah,
mean? You all need to. You just need to. We're fighting on a ship, guys. Who would have thought?
Hey, we're already back to Zaya! Yay!
We're on a boat.
Hey!
I'm on a boat.
I'm on
There
a
we
boat,
go.
man. It's going fast, man.
I just shared that song with my 14-year-old recently. listened to it, and he was like, got done with it, and he was like, Dad, what the fuck was that?
How do you roll for the creatures on the board?
I usually just roll them by hand.
Oh, okay. Just trying to figure out how to keep initiative. I'm not quite as sure. Brian said you can keep it somewhere. I'm just used to someone keeps it on them.
Yeah, it's on one of the on the left on your one of your. Unfortunately, I'm only in player mode, so I can't see it.
Well,
Yeah, I
let's.
think if you just kind of drag and drop to highlight all of the tokens, everybody who's going to need a turn, and you can just right click on one, and there's like an add turn option, and it should just add a turn to all of them. It might pop out
Oh, I
that
see what you're saying.
turn order.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Well, I see the add turn, but I don't.
Hmm.
Let's do it this way. Let's keep it manual for now.
Okay.
Does anybody want to keep
I'll
it?
go ahead and keep Anish then.
Perfect. I'll let you collect the numbers, sir.
All right. So
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Sorry, I was
you're-
just making sure my sound was working. It did something weird when I got back on.
Good. We're rolling for initiative.
Got it.
Rocker had a 7 with a plus.
And we are on roll 20 if you're not on there.
Wayfair, what did you get?
6.
Awesome. What's your Anish mod?
0.
Then we got Dora.
14.
What's your Anish mod?
-1.
I was not expecting that. And
I
then
know.
Kotatsu.
Kotatsu got 18.
Anish mod.
+3.
And IKEA.
I got 12.
And your Anish mod?
6.
Holy crap. King Chobani?
Both the creatures are going to go at the same time.
Sure.
And 21.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We are gonna get wrecked.
Yeah. Okay. Top of the round is gonna be KC.
All right. You hear a giant, giant, huge gong almost sound as you look over, and really, it's actually the size of probably a ride cymbal, but to a gong, it seems rather large, and the challenge commences. And as it does, this giant triceratops comes running and stampeding right towards, we're going to say, Wayfair.
Oh, that's great. It's fine.
And as doing so, I would like you to make a strength saving throw.
$12.
12.
Yep.
Okay. You failed, and I'm sure 26 hits you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You take 14 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And you are knocked prone. And because you're knocked prone, I can make one more stomp attack as a bonus action.
I dislike that.
Just like that. But a natural 1 for a 10. So actually what the creature does is tries to stomp on you, but like somehow just kind of like misses and rolls its ankle and takes 2 points of damage.
Oh.
So
Quick,
this giant creature comes running and throws its horn and takes and stabs into you and pushes you back and then off the horn and down on the ground as you skid across. It tries to run up and stomp on you, but it trips and rolls its ankle a little bit, but stays upright. Did you have a question?
I did. Quick point of order. I apparently ended the last game with GM inspiration. Is that still in effect, or should I take that away?
You can, if you still have inspiration left over, you can utilize it.
Okay, I'm not going to utilize it in this moment. I just wanted to make sure that I had it at my disposal if I needed it.
And then King Chibani's turn will take aim at Dora. No, not Dora, because he's at Rocker, and he's got a small, almost childlike size crossbow in his hands, with blue glowing arrows. I take it 12 doesn't hit you. He's gonna take his next shot. I bet you a natural 20 does. All right, let me find Mr. there. Okay, and that is a... I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw.
I got a 15.
All right, you save. But you take 9 points. Oh, no, sorry. That's not 9 because it was a natural 20. So 15 points of piercing damage from an arrow. But you did succeed the throw. And that is King Chibani's turn. Next up.
Next up then would be Kotatsu with Dora on deck.
Okay.
I
Well,
did also
good
throw
time.
it in our G chat, just to let you know.
Fair.
Awesome.
All right. Well, Kotatsu is definitely freaking out, but is going to charge up to Ralph and King Chibani. And as a bonus action, is going to rage. Which means we get to roll on the wild magic table. And let's see, that is a 3, which means
Oh gosh.
an intangible spirit, which looks like a flump, appears within 5 feet of one creature of my choice I can see within 30 feet of me. So we're going to say that it appears right next to King Chibani.
A what?
A flump.
A flump?
A flump is like
flump.
a flump is like a floating cloud jellyfish. They're one of the very few good aligned aberrations in the game.
Got it.
They are hilarious looking little creatures.
They are.
And at the moment, it doesn't do anything else, but it will do something at the end of the current turn. So, in the meantime, we are just going to go ahead and take 2 swings at King Chibani up there.
God,
Oh, right, because that was just your wild magic surge.
Oh, that's the wild man. Oh, I get it now. I was like,
Yep.
this is
Yeah,
the
that goes
weirdest
off
action
just
I've ever
automatically whenever
seen.
he enters rage.
Okay, so I need to add some sort of flump. How do you spell that?
FLUMPH.
FLUMPH.
Yeah.
Flump. I always think of the giant flying spaghetti monster whenever I see
Yeah.
them.
All right, I'm just grabbing the first thing that comes.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and then I have to
There
actually
is
make my
in
attacks.
premium assets. There's one, but I don't have it. So there's your flump.
Alright.
Where would you like it placed next to King Chibani?
It'll be like directly to the side of him.
So
So
right
like
where it's
one
at
more
now?
square over. Well, because I'm assuming he's the circle on top of the Triceratops, right?
No, that's King Chobani is right there. So is this thing fly?
Yeah.
It just says, well, I mean, the flumps can fly, but yeah, it just says appears within 5 feet of one creature of your choice.
All right, yeah. Well,
So
there it is. The flump is right there. Is there any hit points to the said flump?
There are not any hit points to said flump, but it's not going to matter shortly.
Okay, got it.
So, first attack roll. Oh, and I'm going to attack recklessly because, why not? So I'm just going to roll that a second time instead. And I don't need to add that extra little D3, I don't think, on this one because that's a 27 to hit.
27 hits. What are you aiming for? I would say right now it's pretty. From where you are with the giant head shield from the Triceratops, if you're aiming for Chobani, it's a high difficulty level. If you're aiming for the Triceratops, obviously much easier.
Is it still difficult to hit King Chobani with the bugbear long-limbed, your reach is 5 feet greater than normal?
It's a line of sight issue more than anything, because the way the saddle and everything is designed with the way that the bony head of the Triceratops is designed to protect the rider.
Okay. If I'd moved more over like to the side or behind, would I have a better line of sight at him?
Yes,
or is it
except
just
it'd be just out of your reach, because you'd have to go to the side. The side would be the easiest way to get there. I would say that it's a little easier to get from the side. You can do it. The side is probably the easiest part to get at King Chobani.
Okay. I'm gonna have him on the side then, because that's
fine.
Still has plenty of movement to get there.
Yep.
And then is it just kind of like easier, but still can't really get at him? Like we're gonna have to take Ralph down first, or can I get at him?
You can. It's not that you can't target King Chobani. He's just a higher difficulty. You're gonna have to roll.
Oh, like he's got more AC.
He's got more AC. Yeah.
Okay. So we're still going for the king then, even though he's harder to hit, because I don't want to hurt Ralph.
I figured as much. I understand where your head's at.
So the first attack then is a 27. Well, I'm gonna roll the D3 just because you never know. Oh god, that's gonna be really hard to do in D&D Beyond, I think.
Yeah, I don't think there's a custom D3.
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, there is.
Oh, there is. Okay,
Yeah, there is.
So I can just click that. Okay, so an additional 2, so 29 for the first attack.
That will hit.
Excellent.
Roll your damage.
So that is going to be 16 plus. I think it's a +2 to damage while raging at this level.
Yes.
Yes. So 18 points of damage.
Now, as you did this, even as hard and true as you struck, you still feel like you only got so far in. Like maybe you didn't do all of the damage.
Okay. And then the second attack, still reckless. And that is a nat 20.
That will definitely hit.
So that one. Wait, did that only roll 1d12? Why did that only roll 1d12? It was supposed to be a crit. Hold on. It's a 4 and another 4. So 8, 9, 14. Actually, less damage that time, 16 points of damage.
Okay.
Little sad. And then, at the end of Kotatsu's turn, this is where that flump comes into play.
Okay.
At the end of the current turn, the spirit explodes, and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take force damage.
Okay.
Which, sadly, is probably also Ralph.
It is definitely Ralph. But it's no one else. Because you said 5 feet?
Yep, so it would be King Chobani, because it appeared within 5 feet of him, and Ralph.
Okay, for for King Chobani, that is going to be a. You said dexterity?
Yes. DC 15.
Okay, perfect. Dexterity +3. Up 15 exactly.
Oof.
For King Chobani. Now for Ralph. For Ralph, that was a 18.
All right. So they both make the save. The flump does not do any damage. And as it exploded, it is now gone.
All right. Well, you see as Katatsu, when he rages, it's not like, ha, more like, ha, kind of running towards the Triceratops. As he does in his scream, this kind of weird white, like, we'll say misty cloud kind of thing just goes and kind of pops out of him as he's still screaming forward and lands right next to King Chobani. And then as he stands next to the Triceratops, it's like, ah! And stabs and he actually feels it and he pulls back and he's like, and gets it again and pulls back and able to strike the king twice and do some damage. You've done more damage in your life with those strikes. You do feel that, but you have struck the king. And right as you finished, you hear as the little fluff goes away. Doesn't hurt anybody. Is that your turn, Katatsu?
Yes, that will be Kotatsu's turn.
All right. Who's next?
Dora is next with IKEA on deck.
I am. Holy crap. The events that just happened before my eyes. Okay. I see Tatsu going to the side, so I am going to let's see. Let's see, 5, 10, 15. Oh, 20, 30. Yeah, I've got 40 feet of movement. I can go there. I'm gonna go on the other side and flank.
I'm just moving for a second. I'll put it back here. Get rid of Mr. Phone.
And I'm just going to rage because this whole situation just really sucks right now, and you're being very mean. Or just looking for a dragon, that's it. He needs a dex save.
No problem.
As I rage.
Nat 20.
Well, fine.
I know. I can't roll this low.
Jeez. Okay. Let me see. Do you save for half or do you save the whole? Dex save. Oh, you save for half. Okay. So that's going to be a D6. So that's 5 electric damage, halved for if you save it.
So 5, so 2.
Yeah.
And what does it look like?
Oh. So you just see her kind of like stomp her way around to the other side and just like kind of be like a little bit of tantrum-esque. And with every stomp, the electricity just bursts out and she just cries out and lightning goes everywhere.
So you guys see as Dora is like, huh, and not so much that her footsteps are big, but there's like little bits of lightning kind of coming out, and she throws, and it's just off because she's still like trying to pull together her own anger, and the aim is just a little off. It strikes the king's shoulder, but you kind of see like this like lightning kind of come in, and the king kind of move back, and you see a little bit and flinches a little bit in pain. You see lightning and electricity in his teeth a little bit, but he recovers well and he laughs.
Oh shit, that probably hit Ralph too. That's a 10-foot aura.
Oh, okay. So Ralph takes 2 points as well. So you see as the lightning kind of goes around everything, and you said 10 feet, which means that we should be good. Yep, everybody else is good. So 2 points of damage to the Triceratops as well.
Yep. And then I am going to attack the king.
Go for it.
He's a big old meanie face. And we're going to do it recklessly because he's a big old meanie face.
I will say this just because you're new to a barbarian, you do already have advantage because you're flanking.
Oh, that's fair.
Actually, technically, because you both have reach, I would imagine you're flanking King Chobani as well.
Okay. Okay, then I will stave off the recklessness.
I hate to be that guy, but technically you only get the reach during your turn. When it's not your turn, you don't technically have the reach with how it's worded.
Oh, that's true.
That's, you know what? That makes sense. So
it's dumb. It's just how they worded it.
No, I like that though. That makes sense to me.
So we're flanking for Ralph, but we're not flanking for the king.
No, which actually kind of plays into his whole riding a Triceratops kind of protects him sort of thing.
That's fair. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, thank you. That's I actually like that rule set. It makes sense to me too.
Yeah, the way they word it for Bugbear is.
So you can attack recklessly and still get advantage.
Yes, I am still gonna attack recklessly. So let's do that. For 23 to hit.
23 will hit.
Cool.
Just hits.
Then that's gonna be 12 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
If that makes a difference. And then I got 2 attacks, yeah. And then next attack.
What gave you the ability to throw the lightning spell?
That's my rage.
Oh, that's just a rage.
Yeah, that's my rage.
Marcus got less cool things with his rage than all of you.
Because I'm the Storm Herald. Yeah.
I mean, Barca has resistance to like every kind of damage on his rage.
Don't give me logic.
24 to hit, so that'll hit.
Yep.
For 16. Nice.
Okay. Yeah, you as well. You're getting into the you're getting in there, so you run up and you have this like electricity thing, and then you swing and you just you get at his leg, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna try to chop it off, and you swing again, but you get at his arm, and you're doing damage, but again, it doesn't feel quite normal for you. Even you're like, that would have split someone in two. What's going on? So, you are doing damage.
No, I beat them to a pulp. Mine's bludgeoning, not slashing.
Oh, bludgeoning. Yeah. Normally you would have just corked that person into the ground like a nail. We'll say that. And so, but yeah, that's what's going on. Dora, is that your entire turn?
Yep.
All right. Who's up next?
After Dora is IKEA with Rocker on deck.
Can't quite hear you. I'm just making sure. Sometimes people don't talk.
No, IKEA's muted.
She's not muted.
I
think her headset died.
I think it's that headset thing where when you put up the ear
Yeah,
the mic bit. It doesn't just like mute it. It
disconnects.
yeah.
You're gonna have to go out
Still
and
can't
go
hear
back
ya.
in.
I don't remember what it is exactly it takes to change
I think-
the headset connection or get it working again.
I think you turn it off and turn it back on again.
Yep. Like a computer or a cell phone.
Like an IT fix.
Try turning it off and on again.
There it
There we-
is.
Oh, there for a
Oh,
second.
For a
no,
second.
no.
For a
Go
second.
there for a moment.
Ugh, that was such a
Well,
tease.
I mean,
It
And
was
let
she was there for a
down.
second.
we could kind of edit this out if we needed to, I suppose.
I'm gonna write down the timestamp.
How about now?
Yay!
There it is.
Hey!
And you're gone.
No.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Don't do that.
I think you need to just keep touching your glasses.
Yeah. What? Shit.
Hmm.
They're allowed one sentence at a time.
The 2 words.
The same thing where I'm here for just a moment.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
Yes.
just a
Yes.
It
moment.
was there
Just
for
a moment.
Just a
So
moment. Now
just a
you're gone
moment.
again.
There was nothing and then just a moment and then nothing.
I will say you're getting more words in every time. There is a progression here.
So just keep doing what you've been doing like 100 more times and then we'll be fine.
Yeah,
is
next
like-
week, guys, we'll be good to go.
It's like playing D&D with 1-800-COLLECT.
Oh
Pick
my
up Darren in the
God.
back.
Yes, the
Had a baby
collect calls.
boy.
Okay, can you guys, if it,
And it cut out
Oh,
again.
I went again.
Cut out again.
So close.
Oh God.
I think she's saying just skip her.
Skipper for now.
Yeah, I
Got
think
it.
that's what she was saying.
Mm.
All right.
Let's
Which would-
see.
Which would then be Rocker with Wayfair on deck.
okay, I think I fixed it.
Oh, so far so
Keep
good.
talking, keep talking, don't stop.
Am I
Keep-
am I
Yes.
still
Yeah.
here? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if this gets flipped up, it does weird stuff and I don't anyways.
Yep.
I got it. I
Get
think.
some gaff tape and tape that baby down.
Yeah, it
So
just
it is-
stays
Right,
down
right, 'cause if you just-
forever.
Weld
if you just-
it.
Bump it, it does weird stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
It is your turn.
It is your turn.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I have 2 questions. One, are these like circles on the map? Are they pillars? Or
Yeah,
And
they are. They're giant pillars that go probably about 10 feet up into the air.
great. And who
blue
am I on this
circles?
picture? I think I'm this.
Nope, that's
That's
Rocker. You're over here. Sorry, there wasn't a token made for you. I didn't.
Oh
get
no,
it to
no, that's okay. I don't mind. I'm just trying to figure it out. And then my
That's
second question, if my we were gonna fix my I now remember that I was gonna edit my character because my rage doesn't actually help me because I use finesse weapon or
Oh, you
So- and
use
it
two.
gives-
You use 2-weapon fighting.
Mm.
yeah,
they-
and
but they're-
then
Both a bonus action. Did we ever actually do that?
no, we didn't do anything. No, but it's fine. We're just gonna go without it. I just remembered that. I'm gonna shoot him with my short bow, and I'm gonna do it with a sneak attack because y'all are right around there.
Mhm,
So we're just gonna try to hit that. 20 to hit.
No. Are you just to be clear, aiming for King Shabani?
Yes.
Miss.
Okay. That's it. I get 1 attack. So, yes.
We get one?
Well,
Yep.
As a rogue.
As a rogue, yeah.
Kia gets one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Some of you might get more than one based on what levels you are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I built my character poorly. There's a weird thing, so it's fine. We're moving
Not
on.
think you
poorly.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's all good.
All of our characters are quirky.
It is.
you would-
Yes.
To be
Basic-
fair, if like the rogue barbarian it's a strong build.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
when you hit.
It is. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Got
There's
it.
lots of cursing.
Did you move up, or did you just stay there and throw a dagger? You said.
No, she
fire
was
bow.
a short bow. Yeah, no, I didn't even move. I just stayed right there.
Yeah,
So-
as you fire that arrow, it goes off, and actually, right as it was about to hit King Chobani, the Triceratops goes up, and the arrow breaks in pieces off of the skull helm of a Triceratops.
So-
Next up.
Real quick, Hannah, we actually did adjust your character because before you were the path of the Berserker, you are now path of the Totem Warrior, and you're the Bear, which means you only take half damage for everything but psychic damage. So we did change your character.
Oh, did we? Okay,
We did.
because I was just
Yep.
looking at my. Okay, thank you. I could not remember. I appreciate it. I feel a little better now. Thanks.
Barca feels closer to you now.
Yeah.
Also, you might want to rage.
Yeah, actually, in that case, can I rage? Because I missed reading that and didn't think it was gonna give me any bonus. Cause
I'll let you do it because microphone issues.
thank you. I got a little lost.
You know what? I'll even say this. Oh no, you can't. Never mind. You can't recklessly attack with a bow and arrow.
Because
No.
that would be broken.
That would be
100%.
I'm going to recklessly snipe you from 2 miles away.
Right?
Exactly.
No, I figured it was busy over there, so we'll. All right.
Perfect. Next up.
Next is Rocker with Wayfarer on deck. Rocker is gonna move up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and go like there, 30. And then, since Rocker's injured and Rocker knows that his brother also got savaged, Rocker is going to spend 2 sorcery points to twin a 2nd level Cure Wounds, touching
Nice.
Wayfarer and myself
That's awesome.
for healing for 10.
Nice. Go ahead and roll your healing.
It heals for 10. That's
Oh,
what
it heals for 10. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
What does it look like?
Uh,
Yeah, I don't have to come up with everything.
Honestly, so we'll say that some of his healing magics was probably what he learned, because he has Shillelagh, even though normally a bard doesn't, because he was taught a little bit of the green stuff from Nana Chase. So it probably has kind of a greenish glow to it as it heals
Oh, cool.
the wounds. Because I'd say some of his more magical abilities are probably her training than anything.
So, as you feel this heal come in, it actually comes in. It almost looks like a staff of music as it comes down his arm and into the body in this green color. And you actually can almost hear a soothing song in your ears. Even though it's not audible, you can hear it like inside your head a little bit, and it's calming you and healing you from the inside out, almost like music therapy.
I like it. And then let's see, I moved, action. You know what? Actually, as a bonus, I would like to rage. So I'm going to go ahead and rage.
You're gonna subtly heal and then and I assume it's kind of like kind of like
It's just that little bit of soothing, pleasant melody before the hard rock kicks in.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Like an Evanescence song.
I was gonna say it's very it's
Yeah.
Can you see?
And that is it for Rocker's turn. It is now Wayfarer.
All right, Wayfarer is having a weird day. He glances over at actually no, he glances up. Oh, you're raging. Fucking everybody's raging.
Yeah. Join
We're
the
all
party,
barbarians.
bro.
What do you expect?
He reaches into.
Ah,
This is all flavor because it's part of the spell that he's about to cast. He reaches into a pouch. He pulls out a small glass rod and a bit of fur, which he then wraps around. He then kind of puts it directly underneath Ralph and kind of angles it up so it kind of goes straight through the middle of him. And he casts Lightning Bolt, which is going to hit him, the king, and hopefully nobody else.
ouch.
Now, are you doing this from the prone position?
I sure as fuck am. There's no reason I can't cast a spell down here. I am at disadvantage to do everything else, but there's no
That's true.
reason I can't cast a spell
That
down
is
here.
true. That
Uh,
is true.
I know there is no reason you can't cast a spell. Did you say you're doing it with a rod of some sort?
So it's part of the spell components. You need a glass rod and a bit of fur. So I'm flavoring the spell components. So he literally like reaches in his spell component pouch, pulls out a rod, wraps some fur around it, puts it underneath, shouts something to the effect of, "My sister's not the only one that deals in lightning."
Okay, do me a favor. As you're pulling out, I just want to see how easy this may or may have not been for you. Since you're on the ground and trying to pull out spell components that could be necessarily in pockets that aren't easy to grab while you're down on the ground. Because I think there is a bit of difficulty in that. Not that don't want you to be able to do your spell, but I want to see how easily you do the spell. So roll me a dexterity. I'll give you a dexterity saving throw if it's easier for you.
Still the same. 2.
A 2? Okay.
Mhm.
You still get them out, but like, my sister, shit! Grab them back up. And, like it's not as smooth. It's like it wasn't in your head. It was much cooler.
Okay.
But you still get the spell off
All right.
as you're doing it.
Way less
go
cool
ahead.
than I thought it was going to be. That's they have to roll a
I love
dexterity
this.
save DC 15. Both the king and Ralph.
And Ralph. Got it.
As long as you don't get stomped on while they're trying to dodge it.
16 for the king.
So he'll save for half.
11 for Ralph.
Ralph will fail.
Oh.
He knew what he was getting into. So total damage is 38.
Nice. Yeah.
Half damage would then be... Oh, I'm so bad at this math. 19.
Oh, it looks like it really, really hurt everybody. So, as you're fumbling around on the ground, as this battle is happening, and this is intense for you. Right. You're on the ground, staring up at this stomping, moving Triceratops, with, even for a bugbear, is a big fucking creature. Like, it is big. And you have all of your siblings screaming in rage around you, attacking and all these different, a cacophony, almost like a musical weird familiarness of what you're hearing for these rage screams and moments between Kotatsu's like manic crazy nerves coming out to Dora's anger coming out in lightning, to your sister and back screaming about not being able to hit things and raging out because of it. And then your brother who heals you with a song, but then all of a sudden it turns into a rock ballad. And then as you do this, this giant lightning ball goes right through the center, and everybody around the Triceratops sees this thing, and it goes right up through, and a lightning bolt comes out the top of even the helm of the king, and you see them all scream. You see the lightning go through the teeth, the eyes, everything. It's some pretty good damage to everybody that you were trying to do damage to.
So I think at this point, like, he was really flustered. He had this, like, he tried to get this one-liner out. It didn't work. There's a lot going on, but that goes off, and he's like, you know what? No. I'm still a fucking lounger. So he very calmly then gets up with half his move, dusts himself off.
Yep.
And then as a bonus action, instead of raging, he starts his blade song, which drops down to that low, like Mongolian throat singing, and starts to kind of weave the various different like harmonies and tones of the raging of his siblings, weaving it all together into one cogent. I'm not saying it's not discordant, but it's not unpleasant to hear.
Up in the stands while that's happening, Barca is sitting and a tear drops out of his eye because it's the most beautiful cacophony of sounds he's ever heard. And his mom puts a hand on his shoulder and just casts calm emotions again, like a calm, warm hug.
Did she just have that at will? Because she needs that at will.
Mhm.
Yes, flavor-wise, she just has it at will. Let's go with it.
Kinda. We'll just say it's kinda. The way that I've got her built.
Technically has that.
This is the Julie Andrews of Bugbears.
Oh,
is
yeah.
basically
No,
what's
for
going
sure.
on.
100%.
If I could do a British accent, it would that's where it would be. But yeah, no, you get Kermit the Frog instead.
And I'm content. I am content with that.
Totally hear her singing raindrops on roses and whiskers and kittens.
Yep.
That's not pulled
Yep.
there yet.
Less than 30 seconds, we're fine.
That is fully the end of my turn.
End of your turn? Okay, so I take it we're back at top of round, right?
We are.
Okay, I want... Yep, everybody that is in a 5-foot radius of Ralph to make a dexterity saving throw.
Hey, that's a decent roll. I had an 18.
Okay, 18. You succeed.
Is it considered a? I think would danger sense apply on this? As far as getting
yeah, because if I can see it, then I have advantage.
Yeah, you definitely see the Triceratops doing something right there. Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yep. I mean, we all have danger sense, so.
I got a 21.
Nice. That'll bump Kotatsu up to a 17.
Succeed.
Unfortunately, 11.
Fail. So the Triceratops gets up and starts and moving around. And everybody there, from Wayfair to Rocker and Kotatsu, you're able to kind of like move and steady yourself. Dora, still kind of just pouting and being mad, takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage as the Triceratops moves its head over and poof, and punts you 10 feet back and prone from his position. And then he will... Since Wayfair did most damage to him, Wayfair is going to get hit again, or attempt to get hit. Let's see here. I believe that probably hits. Let me just find the numbers real quick. All right. Does a 23 hit you?
23 will hit, yes.
Okay. I'll need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, and now that we know that danger sense is a thing.
Oh shoot, I forgot. Yeah, the last time. I'm sorry, man.
No,
I
it's
didn't even think about that.
I should have thought of it too. 17.
17. You succeed on that. So the Triceratops comes in again and gouges you and gets your other shoulder, and actually to the point so deep that the point comes out the other side, pulls back out. Where the other side now there's a scar that's been healed and closed by your brother. You have a scar on the other side, but somehow you're able to stay on your feet and not have to do anything with the stomp attack because you aren't prone. And then King Chobani.
What was my damage for that?
Oh, sorry, that was 13 points of piercing damage. King Chobani now will fire at, well, because you're not within minimum range because you're at least 10 feet away. So you're gonna go after Katatsu. $23 to hit.
That frog, I tell you.
Katatsu, 23 to hit.
Kotatsu.
Uh-oh.
Is he having mic problems?
I don't know, but I see movement.
All right, can
There.
you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Had some headset issues of my own.
It's a
23 to
theme.
hit.
23 definitely hits Kotatsu.
Okay. And then a nat 20 to hit.
Oof.
By the way, if you're wondering, King Chobani and the Triceratops have pack tactics.
Have
Mm.
what?
Mm.
Pack
Pack.
tactics. Let's see here. That's gonna be that one, 5, 7, 8. So you're gonna take 14 points of piercing damage and then make a wisdom saving throw.
And is that regular piercing damage?
Regular piercing. Yep.
I do get to have that for range. And then what kind of saving throw was it?
Wisdom.
Stone.
14.
14.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not wisdom. I apologize. Constitution. Constitution.
Oh, Constitution. Uh, 16. No, sorry, 15. Slightly better.
15. You make the save.
Oh, thank goodness.
Just make the save. So yeah, you took your. Did I tell you took 7? You took the damage.
Yeah, it was
right?
the 14. Yeah,
Yep.
14 damage just got halved.
So basically, what you see is King with the same kind of glowy arrow turns to you, and you're close, and he fires, and he's got actually a beautiful movement. Rocker, as you see, as the tight windows of what you can see from the King, it's almost like he's playing that instrument as he pulls back. He's got a fluid motion as he goes and what he does. And even though he's been electrocuted and stabbed at this point, he still is like, the challenge is the challenge. And he fires these 2 arrows, and like one hits you kind of like right here, right in the side, and the other one glances off, scares your seagull, which flies away.
Oh.
And as you reach out to stop it, hits your arm.
Oh,
Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn? Oh no, that's the turn of the enemies.
yes.
So Kotatsu
Next up.
would be next with Dora on deck.
If the King and Ralph are done with their turn.
They are,
All right.
especially after we just made you lose your bird friend.
All right. Well, back to Kotatsu as a bonus action. Another intangible spirit flumph pops into existence 5 feet directly above the king this time.
Gotta love some
I'm gonna
intangible spirit flumps.
I'm gonna put the flump behind, but we are gonna note that it's above.
Yeah, it's going to explode at the end of the turn again anyway, so it's not
Yep.
super important to put it on the map.
I was like, it's kind of hard to unstack the stack and then restack the stack.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And then Kotatsu is going to attempt to recklessly attack twice against the king.
Go for it.
So first roll is a nat 20.
Oh my god.
That will hit.
So don't know why it's still rolling just 1d12 on that. So there's a second d12. All right, so that's 15, 25, 26, 27, 28 points of damage.
Woo-wee. Okay. There.
And then the second reckless attack. And just because I can. Let's see, was a 24, 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
All right, and that will deal another 15 points of magical slashing damage.
Okay.
And then the flump explodes.
Okay, what was the save for that?
It was a dexterity saving throw, DC 15.
Dexterity saves with a dirty 20.
All right, so the flump explodes, doesn't do any damage again this time. And that will be Kotatsu's turn.
What is this? I gotta know. What is this guy thinking? Like, just this series of exploding flump spirits. Just keep appearing and then exploding.
Surprisingly, he's not surprised. He's an Arcanescent. So things of the weird and different are common. In fact, if people came in normal and looking kind of like what you all were, like off the street, that's when things are different. So as he's seeing these things, you are actually kind of puzzled by this, Wayfarer. You do have that thought that goes through your brain, like, how is this king not affected by this craziness? Because I'm affected by this craziness. Awesome. What does it look like when the flump explodes, by the way?
It doesn't really say specifically in the rules. So I imagine it's this kind of like, it's the same shape, but it's like very ethereal and very translucent. And it just kind of hovers there for a couple of seconds. And then there's that kind of like, almost like it freezes in place, but you can see it like trembling and like swelling up a little bit. And then it's just like this poof, sudden outward cloud motion of these tiny little like glittery dust motes.
Wow. Okay, I love that. So we see as Kotatsu, angry about his bird friend being comes in and strikes so true with that first hit with that natural 20, boom, right where it needs to be, and does a pretty good amount of damage. It actually is able to fit right between, not even touch Ralph, right between like the little bit of horns on the top of his the helm, and right into the side of the king, and pulls it out. And you see him as he winces because that one definitely hurt a little bit, and then pulls back again and screams in anxiety instead of delight, and throws again, and grabs him almost in the same spot. King's hurting. You've done some pretty good damage to him, but he's still around. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that's all Kotatsu's going to be able to do this round.
All right. At this point in time, the king is going to do one of his legendary actions.
Ah!
There it is.
Everybody in the 5-foot radius make a dexterity saving throw. Should have thought about this before I started fighting a bunch of bugbears.
5-foot radius of the king or 5-foot radius of Ralph?
Of the the team.
Gotcha.
Of
the
Ralph.
Triceratops.
I am no longer in that radius because they pushed me away.
Correct.
Correct.
You are
It's true.
away and prone.
11.
That is a 19.
11 and a 19.
I also
And-
got a 19.
A 19. So Rocker and Wayfair, you succeed.
Rocker and Kotatsu. I failed.
Oh, Kotatsu, that's right. You're right. Wayfair, you are not prone again. Not 10 feet away. And you take 18 points of bludgeoning damage as the Triceratops knocks you down and then stomps right on your stomach. And it pushes you into the ground, which is a little bit soft, which kind of saves your life a little bit, but you definitely hurt. And I rolled really crappily on that damage too.
And for those of you playing musical bingo references along at home, you can cross Chumbawamba off your card. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
And then I get knocked down once more.
And I still will get up again on my next turn. Because my turn's over.
Got the words, because my head is woozy. Yeah.
It's kind of the wimpiest legendary action ever if it only works on one person. But all right. Next, so that was the end of Kotatsu's turn. Next up,
Dora with IKEA on deck.
Would be me. I'm really fucking angry now. Now it's like a child throwing a temper tantrum. So I get up. That halves my movement, but I can still go back to where I was. And I'm going to hit him again.
all right, take that club out and do your worst.
And I'm going to do it recklessly because fuck that guy.
Indeed.
Well, that sucked. 13 to hit.
That's a miss.
Yeah. And second hit. 17 to hit.
That's a miss.
Oh, fun. But he still has to do a dex save.
Dex
Because
save.
my lightning is shooting out of my eyes straight at him.
Is it an area effect or is it
Just
targeted?
him. It's
him.
targeted now. Because
Nice.
with every round it's active, I can choose one creature.
That's a natty 1.
Well, that's cool. He will get 3 points of lightning damage from just daggers out of my eyes.
Yeah, the king is clearly like getting a little like distracted by all of the creatures around him stabbing him, and is actually kind of surprised and wondering if maybe he's thinking about a specific type of dragon that maybe you all do worship because of primarily all of the lightning effects coming from everybody. And you do your 3 points of damage.
Yeah.
Of lightning damage.
Yay! I help.
Is that your entire turn?
Yep. That would be
All
it.
right. Next up.
Yeah.
IKEA's up with Rocker on deck.
Alright, I'm the furthest south, I think, right? Token person? This one?
I'm just bringing the map up again. Yep.
Okay.
More.
I'm still gonna shoot him again, but the sneaky like, so I can sneak attack. I'm gonna stay back here because I don't like how we're stomping around.
Yep.
Ah!
Yep.
No. I miss. Like, and I'm gonna like just stomp forward like 15 feet, like not to get close enough, but just to like, I'm just yelling at him because I'm mad. Can I move? How do I move? Oh, look! There we go.
Click
I
and
moved up.
drag.
It does nothing. I'm just mad and yelling. That
So-
ends my turn.
As you hear your sister screaming behind you and firing arrows that keep just like it looks like she's got the shot, but that Tyrannosaurus just keeps coming up, like, and she's just missing the timing of it all. Those arrows keep bouncing off of the helm of the Triceratops.
IKEA, are you gonna help at some point?
God damn it, Dora! Shut your face!
Everybody's raging, so it's like
I'm gonna.
Christmases is like a mob Christmas with this family. Next up.
That would be me. So I am gonna draw forth. So I feel I should have this distinction real quick here. So my guitar is what Rocker refers to as his axe. However, his great axe is actually named Black Betty. So he draws Black Betty, which, whatever the theme music was in his head before, is now that song. And then he's going to take a swing at Chobani.
Lamb the lamb.
And I didn't say I was gonna do I didn't say I was gonna do it. So I got a 20, which I believe misses.
20 misses.
Sadly. Okay, and then I am done. Oh wait. Oh no, I have to hit the creature. Never mind. I'm done.
Okay. So we see as Rocker takes a swing and a miss and cusses as he does it. Because normally that would have struck almost anything. But because he was going for a very well-protected king, it's not always easy to hit someone on top of a Triceratops. Not that I would know personally. Yeah, just a little bit. All right, next up. Is that your whole turn, Rocker?
That's it for Rocker. So then it's Wayfair at the bottom.
Okay. So Wayfair, I'm gonna ask you to indulge me in something here. He's gonna cast a spell. It is a thing that he can cast. It's part of his list, everything like that. I just need you to tell me whether or not the king is going to succeed on a DC 15 Constitution check.
Okay. I can do that. Exactly 15.
Okay. So what winds up happening, much to his chagrin, is Wayfair from the ground stares up at the king, glaring, also still the low singing, raises up his hand as part of the sort of, we'll say it's probably being done in Goblin because that's likely a very guttural language. But in Goblin, he basically pleads with the elements to intervene on their behalf, and this portal sort of swirling over the king's head opens up, and this like skeletal hand shoots out and just misses him, and then recedes back into the portal and closes.
What? Oh, that's insanity.
That is definitely insanity.
I would say again, you are befuddled. It almost seems like now you're just trying to shock the king. But
Kinda, yeah.
But at the same
all of us are
time,
missing.
he's more acknowledging like the he's not afraid, and he's more acknowledging the coolness of what you are trying to achieve. He's not even shaken by it. Again, it's the challenge. He's hurt, It's the weird thing, and it's a quite of a juxtaposition. You're looking at both Ralph and the king taking this damage, but not in anger, like they're fighting for something. They're honoring the challenge this whole way through.
I will get up, and that will be my turn.
Okay. Next up.
Top of the round, which is KC, King Chobani.
Okay.
We could probably get through one more round of combat before I got to call it done.
Yep, that's what I'm working on here. Trying to figure out. I can't leave. Actually, yes, I can. The Triceratops pulls away, giving anybody an attack of opportunity on the Triceratops.
Damn it. So close. I got a 20 again. I just.
Attack buff.
You're going for the Triceratops, right?
Oh, actually, that's a good point. No, well. I
It
guess
was an attack of opportunity
You're right.
on
It would
King
have to be the
Chobani.
Triceratops.
Yep.
So 20 to hit the Triceratops?
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
The total is going to be 19 damage, 9 of which is radiant.
9 of which is radiant. That won't matter for him. That okay. That was the first attack of opportunity on the Triceratops.
Wayfair does not have a weapon drawn, so I will not be taking it, and I don't have Warcaster. So
Okay. Kotatsu.
Well, since we established that since it's not his turn, he doesn't have a reach on the king, he's not going to take the attack of opportunity on Ralph.
Understandable. Dora.
I really like the Triceratops, so no. I wanted to ride.
Alrighty then. The Triceratops now is going to sprint and come around the pole. I just realized it was on a pole. I forgot it was there. It's like there are giant Triceratops on the map. And comes in to gore rush attack. Kotatsu, I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw, which you see coming.
All right. Dexterity saving throw. 16.
That is a. Wait, what is it? Nope, that's a save. So you will stay upright. But you will. Does an 18 hit you?
Oh, an 18 just barely hits me. That is my AC.
All right. I will set damage.
A really nice AC.
Thank you.
16
I made it myself.
Points of piercing damage. And as that happened, the king simultaneously fires 2 arrows at IKEA.
Ooh.
Cool.
What
Cool.
did they ever do? They constantly missed.
Hey!
It's a natural
I thought for
20,
sure the king was going to be going
Yeah,
all against
that will
Kotatsu
hit
there.
me.
and that'll be for 18 points of piercing damage on the natural 20.
Okay, and I'd take that for half, so
yes.
Wait.
You do 15 plus 5, so
7.
a dirty 20 to hit.
Again for me?
Yep.
Yep.
And this will be 9 halved for you.
9 is halved, or I.
Yep.
Okay.
No, 9 isn't halves. You'll have to have the 9. 9 points of damage. You'll have to have it.
Okay.
Halves to 4.
Thanks.
And then these 2 arrows, again, that smooth shot, and he's kind of like, "This is how you shoot a bow," and shoots 2 right into shoulder 1 and shoulder 2, and now you have kind of 2 like arrows sticking out of you.
Asshole.
And that's one. Kermit the Frog's not an asshole.
This one is.
This one, yeah, King Chobani. Who would have thought? That is actually, you know what? That would have been 5, 10. Just yep, he's got enough movement for that. He moves to there. And that is the king's turn. Oh, wait, Kotatsu. I forgot. You have attack of opportunity on Ralph, but we've already established that you don't like to do that.
Yeah, no, he'll pass on that
Okay.
the second time. Right. Is it now Kotatsu's turn?
Correct. And I'm going to say, just so we know, the sides of the Triceratops are to the north and south.
Okay.
Because right now the Triceratops is kind of backing itself away. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. So, since Kotatsu has a 40-foot movement speed, he's going to move around to the bottom side. Kind of try to keep him from fleeing any further that way away from the rest of the group. So that's his movement action. Bonus action, another flump directly above the king.
Yep. We're just going to say it's there. I'm not going to put it in there this time.
That's totally fine. And then 2 more reckless attacks against the king.
Yep. Go for it. God damn it.
Oh my
Bugbears,
God, that's
man. They move
another
so
nat
far.
20.
Oh, boy.
All right, here we go. And for some reason, it keeps just rolling the 1d12. I don't know why it's doing that. But that is some good damage numbers. So that's going
Yeah.
to be 30 points of damage.
Damn.
How do you want to do
Dang.
this?
Yes.
Yay.
Nice.
All right. So Ralph and the king are kind of doing their charge at Kotatsu, and like they kind of try to like gore him and flip him up, but like Kotatsu manages to like brace himself enough against the horn and just kind of like gets pushed back a little bit, and they tear off and they go around the corner and like start to loop back to charge at the rest of the group. Kotatsu speeds right along back to that flank and just like again still screaming in terror while he's doing this with the like flat of his great axe just like almost baseball swinging like from behind the king and just knocks him like straight off the front of Ralph to do like a little flip before landing on his back on the ground in front of Ralph.
Oh, that's awesome. As the king falls off the Triceratops and is down on the ground and out for the count, Ralph, you see the Triceratops like kind of circles away and kind of lays down beside the king. Everybody in the crowd cheers, by the way. No one's sad. No one's booing. And you see this, the person who he handed off the powers to was like, the challengers have won the challenge. Oh, sorry. The challengers have won the challenge. By law of King Chobani, they will be granted specific information involving their friend. Thank you for coming. They all just kind of like cheer and then go away. Shays comes down to King Chobani and like puts her hand on the king's heart and grabs a pendant on her chest and says some very like quiet words in Elvish. And then as the dead king's body lay there, all of a sudden you see the king pop alive. And Shays kind of walks back.
The words she says in Elvish are, "The hills are alive with the sound of music."
The king kind of collects himself, bloody and battered, even though it's like resurrected to 1 hit point alive. Looks around. Well, I guess I was probably not the victor in this situation. Excuse me. A little bit of blood comes out of his mouth a little bit. Well, okay. What a challenge. I still don't know who you are, but you showed your heart to each other and commitment to the challenge. And the way that you befriended Henry and chose not to hit him, well, most of you, and kind of looks over at Wayfair. I can tell that there is something about this group that is special. Your friend is located, and now I gotta find the name. Your friend, Argentia, is a daughter of the Dragon King of Silverclaw Peak. Now, I don't want you to be confused. That doesn't mean he's the king of all dragons. Because we personally have our own king and we think he is the greatest. Not actually a huge fan of silver dragons, but you all have shown me that things can come from unexpected places. There are 3 shortcuts to the... I'm rusty, guys. I'm rusty.
It's not good.
Silverclaw Peak. There are 3 shortcuts, and you can take them through 3 different ways. You can go underground. You can go through the forest, or you can go through water. At this time, I'd like you to decide. And Barca stands back and goes, Barca very proud of children. Well, Barca's not. Well, Barca came from Berazayargia. Barca not always the right person to make decisions. So Barca leaves decision up to kids, since kids fought so good. Water, underground, forest.
I look over to Wayfair. What do you think, brother?
His voice is a little hoarse. I don't swim very well.
I do.
And I don't
We could find a boat.
forest very well. I think underground might be the way.
I'd be more comfortable in the forest.
I
The
would be.
sea is for me.
I'd be more inclined to forest than I would to water.
We have 2 forests and 2 waters.
Maybe we should do rank choice voting.
Before you all decide, please note, every path has its perils. There is no path that doesn't have some sort of peril here in Arganessen. The shortcuts are good because they'll get you there quicker, and you don't ever want to start traversing Arganessen without these shortcuts. So that being said, we have 2 for water and 2 for forest.
My vote is whatever Wayfair says, because, he's the smart one.
Fair enough.
Say what now?
Forest, it is.
We're outvoted.
And so there's 2 claps. As he claps, over to the right, a giant drawbridge starts falling down. There is your shortcut. I wish you all the best. Again, Arganesson is no continent that should be taken lightly. The dangers here are immense. There are dragons everywhere, and not all of them like creatures, specifically ones that aren't part of their faction. Be careful. Should you survive, come visit again. I would like to play more music with you, Rocker. And I would like to meet more of your bird friends, Kotatsu. And he just kind of points. Barca and Chase start walking towards the exit.
As we're walking away, I'll actually lean over to Kotatsu. Would you apologize to Ralph on my behalf? I was kind of panicking in that moment, and I didn't really think it all the way through.
Oh, yeah, sure. And Kotatsu will go over to Ralph and, hey, buddy, that was a good battle. You did a great job. My brother Wafer over there wanted to say sorry to you. He got a little bit too panicked. He didn't mean to do that to you. But great job, buddy. That was good.
Brother, always honor the challenge. No hard feelings.
And Kotatsu gives him kind of that awkward he's trying to do the hug, but the Triceratops is way too big to actually
Huge.
be hugged. So he's just kind of pressed up against the Triceratops.
He does that Sam Neill thing in Jurassic Park where he lays against the belly and it's just breathing.
Mhm.
You know what?
Basically.
I'll grant it because Kotatsu, or not Kotatsu, Ralph is on the ground currently kneeling next to the king. So he is able to kind of hug, and yeah, for sure, trying to Ralph breathes in. You do the Sam Neill in Jurassic Park. As you all exit the arena. Oh, go ahead.
As we're
Anything else?
leaving, IKEA's gonna turn around and say, I do have one more question. Do you
Is
know?
this in earshot of everybody else?
Yeah. I mean, she's not trying to
Cool.
be a
Just making
secret.
sure.
Yeah. You don't know anybody around here who would be interested in shacking up with a creepy guy, do you?
I'm afraid for you, child, you have the biggest challenge yet.
Cool. Then she's gonna pull out the arrows from her. She's gonna hand them to the king. Maybe next time will go better for me.
And what he does is he takes the bow off of him and hands it to you. For him, it's a long bow, but for you, it's a short bow.
Excellent.
I will get you the stats for that bow.
Cool. All right. Kind of nod to him and turn around and go
May
look
this
for.
serve you well on your next challenge.
Thank you. I hope we get to come back for some more food. That was good.
You're always invited.
I was deeply surprised that the fried flies were actually tasty.
I think it
Yeah.
was the cinnamon.
Yeah.
I never got to ride the Triceratops.
Well, maybe we can come back and give it another shot. Ralph seemed rather pleasant, and now that I know that I didn't offend him, I'm feeling rather positive towards that large horned creature.
Yeah, Ralph's great.
This is all happening while you're
Yeah,
all
as we're
flying.
going, yeah, 100%.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
this is
yeah.
this is definitely conversation as you're walking and moving. As you kind of
100%.
get beyond the door, you again feel that oppressive, warm, tropical heat, and the door starts closing up slowly behind you, like a regular drawbridge would, as it took you across what was kind of a large river that goes off around to the east and west, or just kind of around the giant walls around you. You are in full on jungle, but there is like a straight, almost looks like tunnely path through the forest that you can see. You're not in the thick of it, you're on this path. And as you start your way out, you all know that you still have a long journey ahead. But you all feel pretty good about what you did. And your dad, as you see him walking ahead of you, is walking tall with pride and honor. And that is where we are going to end for today.
Nice.
Beautiful.
That was a lot of fun.
This was so much fun. I had a blast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've actually struggled sometimes for sitting this long, like at the computer gaming, and I had fun the whole time. This was great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I also have to throw this out there. I didn't want to derail earlier, but I have an alternate headcanon for the word in Elvish that Shay said when she was healing the king. That she just like kneels down, starts doing the spell, and whispers, "Encore."
And on that note, I want to thank everybody who's still watching for joining us today. Go ahead and check out the other videos. I'm going to do a YouTube thing at exit, guys. This is weird. Go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. There are the rest of the Barazia Argia Chronicles, which is not, it's mostly this cast, but it's not these characters, with the exception of Barca. We have my other game that I run, Saul's Rest, is on there, both the original campaign and the second campaign, which is now in progress. There's a whole bunch of just random one-off specials and everything like that, so go check it out. Give me a follow, subscribe, all of the things, because apparently when I tell people to do things, they actually listen. So thank you all for joining us today. We love you very much, and we will see you again soon.